Well, hello. What is up? Welcome on in. Uh, I thought, why not make a tutorial? Because I feel as if, not that I've peaked in this game, but I just thought, why not do a tutorial? Because I already have a tutorial on how to do G2, and I thought, why not? Because when I got my last PB, I got it offline, so I showed it on stream, and then a few people were like, that was actually pretty interesting how you were able to just sit back and just talk about the runs, because I wanted to show, you know, under the hood, as a figure of speech, just to see, you know, what goes on behind, you know, what's in the secret recipe of the Willy Wonka factory, you know. So, I'm probably going to be doing a lot of talking. I'm probably going to be doing a lot of pausing. I might put in like little kind of, you know, bookmarks as well, just to say when, you know, when there's certain things to do, like certain sections and stuff, you know. Maybe for boss fights I might make that like a whole segment itself or something, I don't know. But yeah, there's a few moments of the game where like there's gonna be strats where they'll branch off, probably, like for example the Yolo prison. There's not many players doing that at the moment other than myself and myself and Nixissues, and TheFuretto does a sort of variation of that. I know every other runner basically doesn't do that. They use the flashbang strategy, so and it's completely fine, you know. Mondo does that, Trey does that, Orch does that. I don't know what I'm going to get into. I'll just see what happens when we get into the run. So yeah, at the moment you're probably seeing we have the SRT on the left. We have the oh, actually, you know what, let me refresh my Noah board because it's not showing the keys that I'm pressing. There we go, boom. The frames are 120. So just before we get into this, it's going to be Leon A standard 120. So let's just get into it. Now, there's a lot of this that's probably going to come down to opinion as well. I know there's a lot of runners in this category. This is the most competitive category in the game, 100%. It doesn't mean it's the most optimized. Claire A is the most optimized, but this is definitely the most competitive. And competitive meaning it's probably harder to get top 5 in this category. In fact, I'm fairly sure I could put money on it. It's harder to get a top 5 or even a top 10 time in this run than it is to get top 5 or top 10 in Claire A. But it's harder to get the world record in Claire A. So first things first, I'm going to be doing something. I'm probably going to be mentioning this a lot, but there's something in the game called shift boost, okay? So shift boosting is essentially a maneuver to kind of cancel out this sort of acceleration period where Leon runs into the animation of the run, you know. Now I've no timer here, so I'm gonna just go slow with this. Let me show you what a shift boost is, right? So I'm just gonna hold as if the game starts. I'm just gonna hold W and shift, okay? And watch how Leon moves, right? See the way his shoulders, if you almost look at that in slow motion, that was an example of not a shift boost, meaning it's slower. Leon sort of like moves into the run. His shoulders go in like that, if you know what I mean. So if you see that again, I'll stop. That was another one. It's a slow way of doing it. No, that wasn't. So let me show you the shift boost. So the only difference is the shift boost is basically like this. Instead of holding W and just holding shift at the beginning of the cutscene, or when the cutscene ends, the idea is that you're going to do this. You'll be holding W, but at the right time, when the game resumes when the cutscene stops and the game starts, the gameplay starts, you're holding W, and as soon as it fades in, just at the right time you hit shift. And it actually cancels out that kind of acceleration period where it's slightly slower. You're probably talking like it's probably like 0.1 or something, maybe slightly more. Like look, I'll show you the difference now. I should have showed you the difference. Okay, this is an example. I'll do the shift boost again. That's not, you know, I won't do the shift boost this time. So watch. That's not a shift boost. So watch the timer. So, see the timer on the SRT? It's 5 seconds, 0.18, right? 0.183, okay? Let's do it again. This is probably not a very important thing. This is a very minor aspect, you know. But when you do this a number of times over the course of the whole run, that's nearly 52 minutes long. It's a lot of time, you know, it's a significant time save. It can be the difference between you getting, you know, a world record or not, you know, it really can. So now I'm going to do a shift boost. I'm going to, sometimes you can't get it. It's hard to get sometimes, and we'll see the timer. So it was 5 seconds, 0.183, okay? You can see how much faster it is. That was a shift boost. Let's see. 5.18. See the difference? It was just, it was what's that? 0.14, a little bit over 0.14 slower. Well, 0.01 faster, you know, a little, slightly more than that. But you do that over the course of the whole run, and you're going to see a little bit of an improvement. Again, it's not that important, but we'll get into it now. No, I think I actually missed the shift boost there. You can do a shift boost. You can do a shift boost everywhere here. You don't always get them. Now, sometimes you actually see a lot of runners mashing. So, like, before I skip this cutscene, they'll be like this. Just mashing shift. And that's a sign that they're not that confident in getting the shift boost. And I'm not confident either when it's certain cutscenes, because some of them take a longer period for them to resume back into the game. So... Freeze! But, you know, that wasn't even a shift boost there. It's kind of hard when I'm pausing over and over again. It ruins the flow, you know. Now, this guy, you just literally just run. It's pretty consistent. There is RNG involved, don't get me wrong. But Frank here can be a bit annoying. He's the first zombie in the game. And just shoot. Oh, he blocked me. I actually could have went inside there. Now, here right now, I use the mouse, and it's annoying using the mouse because for some reason this turns into RE3 Remake. For some reason, there's a delay here. You don't, you know, you'd probably think, oh, just hit D, you know, get into the game and hit D and then select the key. But for some reason, there's a bit of a delay. So I usually like to use the mouse, and it's kind of annoying, but, oh, what am I doing? So I use the mouse like that, but a lot faster than that. So I got the shift boost that time. What the? And that's basically the gas station. Nothing too crazy. Like the gas station is actually a pretty technical part of the game, believe it or not. Now I would I know I'm pausing the game, but I would probably reset that like 43.9. I'm happy with a sub 43 gas station. My fastest is a 42.54. But I would probably reset that. Like, you know, you don't have to reset that. And I shift boost here as well. I hold S and D and I try and shift boost. So this is out of control. I think that was a shift boost. It kind of felt like it. Now we're coming up to the first set of stair skates here. Now I see a lot of runners don't do stair skates very well. There's a rhythm here with this stair skate, with these set of stair skates. It's mainly 4 stair skates here, and this is the rhythm. I'll show you now. It's everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quick turn. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. There it is. That's basically how the stair skate. Stair skating, you go up faster, you go up and down the stairs faster because you're cancelling out the animation of Leon, like going down or upstairs, and all you're doing is hitting this. That's all you're doing. Okay. Now I'm going to explain quick turning in a minute because that was the first part of the run where there was a quick. Well, actually, I did a quick turn in the gas station. Again, I'm going to be bumping into shit a lot here. Usually I take this line. It's so hard to explain everything because it ruins the flow of the game, you know. It's not. This doesn't feel like I'm speedrunning this. Shift boost there again, stair skate. And you're going to come over here. It really doesn't feel like the run begins until after the whole Elliot section here is done. Shift boost, stair skate. Now, one thing about this, one little tiny detail that was like a little bit of a dirty secret in the beginning of the game. Like, shift boosting was a dirty secret, like, in the beginning. I knew a lot of runners who just didn't know what that was, you know. And as soon as I found out what shift boosting was, I found like I became a slightly better runner. But right here, you can actually, I use Q and E for like interact, so E and Q are the same for me, and enter, I use enter. So what you do here is the most optimal way to actually get to this like shelf is this. You're gonna hold, well, I like to hold Q. So I hold Q and I mash E, so watch. So I'm just mashing E. That's the fastest possible way of doing that. Because you don't have to rely on timing. Because it's essentially just catching it at the perfect time. Now sometimes it doesn't catch it, but like, that is the best you can do there.
Jesus. Open up! Hurry!
So there's a little trick coming up now in a minute.
Open this goddamn door!
So, what we're going to do is, we're going to skip this cutscene, we're going to run to the right, and you're going to notice that we're going to pause, right? There's a zombie, Callahan, that's going to be trying to get in, right? So, watch, we're going to cancel, pause, right? So, I think it was actually Waifu who found this in the early days. If you pause this, if you pause it right here for like, I think 2 or 3 seconds, it actually, and when you pause it and then when you unpause, Callahan actually opens the door sooner. So it's a time save as opposed to not pausing. So, and as soon as he opens, you just run by him. But you will get used to that. There's a timing method involved. Here, sometimes Gandalf can get you, but you just take that line. Claire's line is completely different because she runs a bit faster than Leon and Caution. Stairskate there. Here we go. So, I'm gonna just explain a little bit of quick turning now, okay? Now I'm gonna pick up the knife. Marvin gives you the first knife in the game. The DA goes up a little bit. I'm gonna hit this. So usually in a real run, you'd be running up against this, okay? You'd be running up like this. And then it pops. You can see Leon poppers through. And it's basically the same as a shift boost. That's like the same as a shift boost. But anyway, quick turning, right? The most important thing about quick turning is that you're holding shift. I would say. I mean, I don't think it works if you don't hold shift. So if I'm not holding shift, I guess it. Yeah. See, that's why it's important to hold shift. See the way it cancelled him out running. He actually began walking there. Just get used to holding shift when you're doing this, right? So, the idea of quick turning. I'll show you what quick turning is. This is what a quick turn is. It's like a 90-degree turn. A perfect 90-degree turn. And you can even go backwards. Go like that, right? So, how I'm doing this is, right? I'm holding shift. And I'm holding forward, okay? So, when you're holding forward and you're holding shift, what you're going to want to do is you're essentially aiming. You're actually hitting aim for a second. That's what you're doing. You're doing this. Okay, while you're holding these like this, okay? So it's essentially like a stair skate, okay? It's actually like, it's almost the same as a stair skate. You're holding shift and you're doing that, okay? The only difference is, as you're hitting the aim button, the right click, you're letting go of W for a second. You're actually letting go of W. And you're tapping, let's say you want to turn left. You're tapping A. You're tapping A like that. As you're aiming, because the aim stops you from moving forward. It kind of corrects you and stops you, and like boom, you're going to move that way. So it's going to look like this. Now you probably want to show this. You probably want to put this in slow motion, because it's hard to show this. You cannot show this slowly. You just have to talk your way through it. So it's like this. Stop, and then you do that. Okay, and then when you're done, once you have turned, you're going to move the mouse that way. Now you don't have to move the mouse, but you ideally want to look where you're going. You're going to move the mouse that way and then kind of resume holding W after it. So just look at my keys. Don't look at the game. Don't even look at it like the DA. Just look at the keys that I'm pressing right now. See that? It's just it becomes the most muscle memory thing in this whole entire run is quick turning, and you will get used to it. it's important to resume holding W. So when you turn, holding W, holding W, holding W, holding W, because you want to remain moving forward. Sometimes I see other runners like Orch, they do this other thing where they'll angle the camera like this, and then they'll just do that. That's kind of an easier way of doing it. I think it's, personally in my opinion, it's better to get used to the way I'm doing it though, because I don't really like having to move the camera like that and then doing that. I can't really, it's hard for me to give an explanation as to why. It just seems a bit more natural for you to constantly look where you're going, because you never know what's going to be in front of you. But either way it works. So that's quick turning. So let's continue on the run, right? Sorry it took so long. I'll probably put that into a separate quick turn tutorial. Now, you have to move into the wall. See the way I moved into the wall there? This body will fall on top of you. So it's important when you're quick turning here to kind of move inward where the door is, like this. Because the body will fall on top of you, and Leon's going to be like, oh, he'll stop for a second. You won't lose health or anything like that, it's just timeless. So there's another quick turn here. I don't quick turn there because you can it's like the hinges of the door can kind of slow you down there for some reason. I try to shift boost here. Now I know I didn't explain DA just yet, but I will when the time comes when I need to actually explain it. Now here comes a shot in the game that can kind of be annoying. His name is Marks. Just shooting, that's the good RNG that is. He's very predictable when you get that RNG, you know his head is going to remain there. Pick up this key, and then you're off. Go through the library. So we just picked up the spade key now. The spade key will enable us to unlock 2 doors. Technically it enables you to unlock 3 doors. Now this is this might be the most notorious room in the entire game. I remember Mondo asked me, what do you think is the most notorious room of the whole game? And I'd probably say the library, and primarily because of Eleanor. And there's other 2 assholes as well in the library that just, there's a fat dude in the library, there's a guy that looks like Marks at the stairwell there. Sometimes even in the B scenario, sometimes Mr. X can be a bit of a problem as well. And you gotta go in and out of this room like, I think 3 times in the run. So, you're gonna go here, and Leon is on the radio. So it's important that you keep moving forward like this. Now, if you keep moving forward and then the idea is we want to fall through the floor here. See where the mouse is? You want to fall through the floor. For some reason with Leon, if you go the optimal way and do not stop, Leon will fall through the floor and he'll remain on the radio. And that's bad. I'm pretty sure that's time loss because he's walking. You're stuck walking for like a few seconds. So what you want to do is what I do is there's a perfect moment where he falls through the floor, and what I do is I do this. It's hard to explain, but just watch.
Are you okay, Marvin?
I stop for a brief moment.
Got something to show you.
It's like that. And it makes him not see he's running now. Now, right here, I know you're probably thinking, how the hell is he going to use the key? It's way off to the side of the inventory, right? So what you got to do is you got to use the mouse. You got to flick the mouse really quick to the right. Because even if it goes off the mouse, like even if the mouse goes off the menu, it'll pick up that the last thing that you interacted with was the key, and all you got to do is mash enter. So I'm gonna try and do it here. So that was the shift boost. So it's essentially like this. Watch. So see the way I didn't actually hit the key there. I hit like an option that was like to the right of it. You don't have to hit the key itself. That's why there's a slight advantage putting certain items on the edge of the inventory. So I'll do it again. Just, you will get used to that, okay? Alright, so these are probably the most annoying puzzles in the game, the medallions. These puzzles are RNG based. I actually think they're the only RNG-based puzzles in the run, are the medallion puzzles. Now, the solution is not RNG. The solution is always the same. It's just the starting position of the symbols are different. So, the solution to this, it's so muscle memory to me, I don't even know. I think it's lion, leaf, bird. That's what it is. Lion, leaf, bird. I don't even think about that. It's so muscle memory, I don't even have to think about it, so. Oh, fuck. So, the thing about that is, right, I'll show you at the next one. There is 2 more, right? I kind of fucked up the last one there. Because your mind is like, your brain is scanning it as quick as it can, and it panics sometimes, and you go the wrong way. You're making very impulsive decisions when you're doing the medallions, I find sometimes. You know, sometimes you panic, and you just make a decision, like, just go one direction. You will bring, like, I find that the first slot is very, right. I think Curtiiz disagreed with me here, but what I find is, the first slot is the one where I just pick a direction no matter what. Because it's hard to look at it really quickly and decide that's the way I gotta go. I usually pick one direction and I'll know how many times I'll have to get. This just takes experience. I'll usually just pick one direction and my peripheral vision will analyze the other 2. And I'll know the second one is like 2 down, third one is like 1 up. So it's just very hard to analyze that first one very quick. Because I always want to go in one direction because it's you're getting to the solution faster. But don't worry, we'll get to the next medallion soon. They're just very annoying, and another annoying thing about the medallions is that they're kind of input. It's a nightmare with inputs as well, because you can't go too fast and eat your inputs, even on 120. Now, right there, what I did was, just before the helicopter hit the ground, I aimed at the floor there. And what that does is it prevents Leon from falling backwards. If you don't do that, he'll fall backwards and he's further away from the door. So it's actual time loss. But if you aim at the floor just slightly, just before the chopper hits the ground, he'll kind of fall, he'll fall either like, you know, towards that wall, which he's not going any further away from the door, his destination, or sometimes it actually fall forward. So it's just a tiny thing that you need to get used to. Here's a cutscene now with Claire. Alright, so this part is quite annoying. This actually might be the hardest part for me in the whole run. I fucking hate this part, the bolt cutters, because it gets so, you know, so finicky, and it's just very weird. So
Marvin,
what you want to do is, right, the perfect inventory setup here. Now, opinions would differ on whether you put the gun in the very right slot or the slot that's sort of below the knife there. I think most people would agree it's better to put the gun on the right side, because there's a boss fight later on with G3. You have to kind of constantly hit select the gun. But I'll put it there anyway, right? So we put the gun here, and then we discard this key.
Surrounded by zombies. And
now your inventory is basically very basically set up for the whole run now. You're pretty much good for the whole run. There's a few little tiny adjustments in the sewers, but you're good for the whole run. And you pick up the bolt cutters. So now that means all you gotta do is just mash with the bolt cutters every time you gotta use it.
Marvin.
Now, I see a lot of runners, they stand a bit far away from the door because it enables them to shift boost into the door. It's just preference. I don't really like shift boost in here because I find Callahan is a zombie that can be an asshole. He can be here a lot of times. I just like standing close to the door and mashing. So I mash E, Q, and enter. Let's see if Callahan is here. He's not here. Okay. I mash here as well. I don't like shift boost in here. I think it's a bit awkward. You have to kind of turn the camera a bit. It's very minor. You pick up this. Quick turn backwards. Pick up the fuse. We're going to go this way. Open the door. Shift boost. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to use the fuse in the inventory there. The fuse that's next to the medallion and below the valve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be like, hang on, let me just show you on the. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually insert this fuse. So what I do is I hit E to interact with the insertion point where you put it in, and I hit D and S at the same time. So I go and I mash E. So it's like, oh shit, what am I doing? Something just showed up on my screen, don't know why. So just watch here, right? It's that quick. So all you're doing is E, enter. So it's like E, S at the same time, and enter. Stair skate. And you're probably gonna see me do that a lot in this run. Okay. So there's another zombie coming up now called Bagels, and he's an asshole. No one likes him. Now I really hope I don't get bitten because I want to show you how to take a bite in this run. Alright, so he's right there, you just shoot him. Yeah, that's RNG. Sometimes he won't be there. He'll be like around the corner here and he's an asshole. So we mash here. As soon as this door opens, we get through it, discard this, and then get out of the menu. Pick this up as fast as you can, and that's like optimal menuing here. Now, this is actually a point of the run where it'll branch off to what I usually do. I don't know what I should do here because I don't pick up the flashbang. I just don't do it. I YOLO the prison. So I don't know what I want to do right now. Usually I'm used to not YOLO in the prison, but no, I'm used to YOLO in the prison is what I'm saying. But I think for beginner purposes, I think I'll probably pick up the flashbang this time. So, and not only that, but the flashbang also enables you to take a very good bite in the prison, which lowers your DA. So I don't pick up the flashbang, but I will show you how to do this, and I'll show you how to YOLO the prison anyway. Okay. Now, Nixissues has a perfect tutorial there. I'll actually put that in the description for the YOLO prison. So I don't do this, but a lot of other runners pick up this flashbang. That was a shit door. So my inventory is a bit weird right now, but it should actually be okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert this valve here, and we're going to meet Randy Orton. Now again, what I did there was it was basically the same thing. I just like I hit E to enter. I hit E to interact with that, and then D, and then mash to enter as fast as I could. Now really, I should be just doing. It just feels a bit more natural for me to hit E, but I guess I could get used to hitting Q because I'm not like dragging my finger to hit this, you know. I guess in theory it could be faster if I do that. Like QD enter. Like that. But anyway, it's just micromanaging now. So this is Randy Orton. This is the probably the worst licker in the game. Now I find that coming into this room really quick. I remember Mondo messaged me one day saying, "How the fuck do you get past this guy? He's just always getting me." And because Mondo is such a good runner, I actually think the licker was getting him because he was literally too fast. I have a kind of conspiracy theory in my mind where I think if you enter this STARS office too quickly, it'll actually make Randy Orton, the licker, a lot more aggressive, and you know he will aggro. I find so. I like to kind of. I used to like do one stair escape before I'd go into the room, and I'd find that would make it a little bit kind of more consistent. He would leave me alone. So what we're going to do is there's a little battery here that we're going to combine with the detonator. Okay, so watch what happens here. We pick it up, and you put the mouse over here. Now the mouse is usually in this spot right here. So you just move the mouse a little bit here, and you're going to combine. You double hit it. You actually triple hit it, and then you can move out. Okay, let's see what. He's just so random. He can do anything he wants. Now, you look. The thing about the lickers in this game is that they are a bit camera shy, and not only that they're camera shy, you kind of have to keep your eye on them as well. You have to. It's very important to be able to listen to the lickers because they can do this like the shriek, and when they do that, there's a certain shriek they do when they're on the ceiling. Or even when they're on the floor, you know they're gonna turbo and they're like lightning. They'll just like the flash, just like show up right behind you, and you have to be able to dodge them or whatever. But so we shift boost. Here's the next puzzle, right? Okay, I'm not gonna do this initially right now. Let's look at this. Okay, so usually on the first one here, I like to go up. So I think I'm only 2 away from the solution here. Yeah, the first one is gonna be a fish. I move here. I don't know about it. I think I'm 2 or 3 from the solution here. Yeah, 3. And then I'm only 1 away from the solution here. And then, boom. So, that is like, I'm doing that really, really quickly in my head. I'm looking at it. Like, so if you know what I mean, like the first slot is I just go any direction that I I just kind of pick a direction, go in that direction, scan the other two, and then I know what to do. So, you know, Mondo and a few other runners as well, they use the trainer for this as well, where they can, I think the best way to practice this is to use the trainer so you can make saves. I saw Quake Glider do it as well. You constantly just do the medallions over and over again. Look at them. I'll show you in a minute at the next one. I won't actually do the next one. I'll show you a different method with the next one. I just want to show you. Try and learn the symbols. You know, it's one of those things where it'll come with experience. Now, sometimes Eleanor can be here and she just gets you and you got to just reset and go back to the gas station. Now, you're going to pick up a flash. You're going to pick up a knife here on the floor. This guy is bad RNG sometimes because sometimes he'll just stand there and you have to shoot him. It's nice that he walked away there for a sec. That line is fairly consistent when any zombie can be there. So we're gonna do this now. This last and final medallion. So you just mash. Now you pick this pouch up. You will need that pouch, absolutely. You have to pick that up. Now what we're going to do is, it might look a bit strange, it's like why you're leaving the room, but I'm going to do this, right? It's very important you do this. Open that door and then come back in. Now, not only open the door, but open the door and take like a step or two inside the other room, the library, and then move out. Because if you don't do that, this shelf will topple and you'll have to move the shelf. Not only will you have to move the shelf, there's a licker that will probably, I would say 90% of the time, will get you in that situation. So it's very important you go through that door. It cancels out this shelf from falling over. So what we're going to do is there's a spot here, right? Where we go over here and you wait for it to detonate. Now there's a strategy there where you can aim into the wall. I don't really do that anymore. You can aim into the wall to make Leon get slightly closer to the detonator. It can, sometimes you don't execute that properly, Leon gets stunned and he hits the floor and you've lost like 3 seconds or something like that. All right, so this is the last medallion. You run up to it like this at this angle. So this water vase, I know it's only, do you hear the liquor? This water vase, this is my kryptonite. I hate this so much, this RNG. It's just one down and then it's solved on the first one, okay? I think this is like, yeah, one down again, and then this is two down. But it's very hard for me personally. I have to get used to that. I'm fucking still not perfect myself, but I have to get used to that RNG. Usually I see that and I have a habit of going in one direction. So like I am going in this direction for so long to get to that solution. The other two are a lot easier, I find. So let's just have a look at them. Like I ended up here. So the solution, this is the solution right here. It's woman, arrow, snake. So just take a good look at these, you know. Just, you will have to get used to these symbols and like mentally, like visually in your head. You'll have to look at them and see what you got to do. I find that if I get the snake here, it's just 2 up to get the arrow. Oh shit, doesn't matter. I didn't mean to solve that, but it's hard to, you know, you just have to get experience with the medallions. I still don't really know the medallions very well in the B scenarios. They're completely different in the B scenarios. But I would recommend just getting the trainer, or not even the trainer, but just do a few runs. And if a run ever dies to a medallion, stop and then just look at the symbols. That's what I used to do. Now there's a licker here, right, that we're going to run by, and the important thing is that you look up. It makes the licker ignore you 100% of the time, or I'd say 99% of the time. So look up. The licker ignores you. Well, not exactly ignores you, but he tried to kill me there, but he just didn't succeed. All right. This part is very, very annoying. You'll want to get 2 zombies here. Oh, we got lucky there. Sometimes if there's 3 zombies there, you have to go back up the ladder and then back down again. You will get used to that now. It's hard to kind of showcase that because the 3 zombies are not there. Okay, now we're going to insert these. I think it's 5 stair skates here. It's optimal. Mash. Okay. Stair skate. Alright. right, we're 15 minutes in. My best my best secret room. This is the secret room. So a lot of runners, a lot of high level runners of this game,
Goes underground.
they will kind of measure how good they're doing in the run. They'll get some sort of idea of what they can do with the run,
Marvin.
depending on their pace here. A lot of runners like myself, Nixissues, Mondo, TheFuretto, Igor, Trey, Orch, Joydurn, FMC, Dteq, like a lot of great runners of this category. They'll kind of, you know, measure dicks kind of about like, oh, what did you get here? What if someone PB, they'll be very interested in what secret room they got, you know. Like in my PB, my secret room was 8 minutes, 34 seconds, 0.08. So close to a 8:33 secret room, which is crazy. So we're coming up to the first boss fight in the game. You open the lift, you mash there as well. Just make sure you have the knife equipped. Now, you usually will have the knife equipped, okay? It's like 3 stair skates here. I see Mondo doing 4 here, but I feel like it's optimal enough doing 3. Now, this fight is referred to as G1, and it's the easiest boss fight in the game. So, my graphics card, I have a 2070, or RTX 2070, but this game is a lot more CPU heavy. So, a while ago I had to get a better CPU. I got a 5800X. So, my frames don't really have a problem. But if your graphics card is not very good, I would recommend putting the graphics down to 50%, because that'll keep your frames higher than usual. It's just easier for the game to do that. Now I never find I have to do that for this boss fight. And the idea is, all you're gonna do is use the knife for this fight. I think you can get this fight done technically in 15 swings of the knife with Leon. Usually it's 17. I'd say on average it's probably 17 knife hits. It's a very quick fight, so it's hard to actually go through everything that's being done. But the higher the frames are, the more damage your knife does. That was a big kind of, you know, controversy about this speedrun when it came out, was that, you know, the knife was the most powerful weapon in the game, you know. Well, at least in the speedrun, you know. So we're just going to run up to G1, William Birkin, and we're going to knife him in the midsection. Again, with this door, I held Q and I'm mashing E to catch it at the perfect time. All right, so I'm going to shift boost into this fight to get to him sooner, and I'm going to start knifing him. I think I knife him about 5 times along the torso area, and then he's going to be like, ah, and he turns around, and we do a certain thing where we kind of turn kind of in an opposite direction, and we almost look. It's hard to explain. I'll try it now, but I'm pretty consistent with like 16 hit fights in this, which is pretty good. I probably won't get it now. Alright, shift boost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You turn like this. Try and hit his eye. I hit his eye twice. Look up a bit and then go back down to his legs. That was a 16 hit fight. That's considered a very good fight, that is. I think that was 16. I'm pretty sure it was 16. I'll have to check that afterwards, but that's what's considered a good fight. It's the second best fight you can have. The best possible fight you can have in this is 15 slashes, which is very rare. But 16 is what I got in the PB, and 16, you should be very, very happy with a 16. It's very, very good to do that. Now you shift boost and you go to the left. So right now, see this knife, the knife that we used there. Shift boost again, quick turn. I'm going to quick turn and then stair skate like 3 or 4 times basically. I do 3 times there. So this knife in our inventory is actually kind of useless. We don't need this knife anymore. It's just taking up space in the inventory. So this knife, don't worry about where this knife, the 305 knife is. So every knife in the game has durability points, like a measurement of durability. So with this knife, we're actually going to get rid of this knife later on to a zombie. So we're going to open a shutter, and then there's going to be like this moment where we're just kind of waiting for a shutter to open, so you may as well get rid of the knife and stab a zombie. Your inventory is even better then. So a lot of runners actually like to stand like this, and then just as it's getting there, you move, and you like so. Right, it's hard to explain that, but that's like a shift boost. If you don't do that, it's such a minor thing that doesn't really matter all that much, but if you do that, it's technically considered like a fraction faster than just standing at the corner and then just holding W and shift. So now again, look, we're shift boosting. Like, you can already see how many times that we're shift boosting in the game. We're shift boosting quite a lot. So you just interact with that and instantly cancel it. So we don't need the shift boost here because it's irrelevant.
I'm not done talking to you.
Watch, when you come up to this door, it's locked for a second. You have to run into it. Now it's open. Quick turn, quick turn. And then there's another cutscene coming up now. But this is actually one of the more boring part of the runs, I find, is the kennels. There's just not really much going on. You gotta just get from A to B, do this little tiny shitty puzzle, and then get through the dogs, which are RNG. The dogs are the most unpredictable RNG-based enemies in the game, I would argue anyway. It's very hard to tell what they're gonna do. Now right here, I don't like shift boosting because I think it puts Leon in an awkward position. So I just like to hold shift here. And then let go of D. Mash, quick turn. It's hard for me to tell how fast I'm going at the minute because I don't have my splits, but at the moment we've taken 0 damage. Quick turn into here, quick turn into there. Now, there's a few, let me explain something here about these doors, right? I see a lot of runners still making this mistake though. Like, there's certain sections of the game where there's doors, right? Now look, you're probably wondering why I didn't do that typical aim quick turn, you know, where I'm tapping aim. Watch how I'm doing this. I'm not tapping aim. I'm just moving into the doors. For some reason, there's certain doors at certain angles where you can get through them without having to aim. Because when you aim, sometimes it kind of stops Leon for some reason, even when you're holding shift. So I'll try and do the aim quick turn. See the way the door opens slowly there? That door was okay. It's just better if you get used to not doing that. Like, if you're not going through a door, do this, the aim quick turn, do that. But when you're going through the door, make sure you're doing it like this. I mean, that's optimal. That's got to be optimal, right? Some doors are harder to do it than others. You'll probably notice I won't do that with some doors. Some runners are more comfortable with other doors, you know. So now we're going to go through the kennels. And this is a second enemy type, bar G1. The dogs. They're the most unpredictable enemies in the game. We might even take a bite here. It's just so unpredictable. You never know what they're going to do. We begin to mash here to open this shutter. And we hold on to this little crank thing for a while. Now, see these stair skates? See these stairs here? You don't. For some reason, you don't have to stair skate here. You just run up them like this. See the way he didn't. There was no animation there. It was as if the stairs weren't even there. You see a lot of runners doing this. It's actually technically slower doing that. Just ignore these stairs. For some reason, I think it's because it's only 3 steps. I don't know why, but like, Leon just goes up, and again, don't have to aim quick turn there. Just go through the door like that, like a 90-degree angle. This puzzle is it's a very quick puzzle. You just, for some reason the trigger is very, very annoying here. Sometimes you'll see runners tap and aim to cancel Leon from walking. So if I'm running at this at a certain angle, you'll see Leon walk for a second just before he touches it. So watch. See the way he walks? I didn't intend that. I didn't want him to do that. So a lot of runners will do this. So they'll do that. They'll aim to cancel it. Now, there's a certain angle that I like coming in at, like this. I kind of aim for here. I find that you don't even have to aim a lot of the times. When you come in like this, there's an angle here where you don't... See the way he didn't really stop there? And the solution is this. So you literally, as soon as you get into the puzzle, as soon as you get into this puzzle, you go A, enter, A, enter. It's done. Now, the dogs will... You have to move quick here. try and shift boost backwards, take this line as straight as you can. That dog can absolutely bite you if you're not quick enough there. Try and take optimal lines. So we call these dogs, me and Mondo basically call these dogs Scooby and Scrappy. There's two dogs that can become a problem. They can bite you here. So see this line, see where we're kind of running towards this white wall here. If you take a beeline to that door, this dog to the right will bite you. For some reason, when you take this line for a second and then turn, the dog always does that. He'll just miss you. And then you get through. Alright, let's see if the dog is going to bite us. Now, this line, I remember Trey talking about this line. And I think I agree with him. But it's not always consistent. It's kind of more, I think it might be a little bit more consistent to take this line. So when you're running up against like this, like kind of debris here, when you're running towards this, sometimes you can hear the dog about to attack you and then you can move out by holding like A and the dog will miss you. So let's just see what bloody happens. Anything can happen here. Move out. Alright, the dogs didn't. Usually if the dogs are going to bite you, the dogs would bite you there. Sometimes they get you here. A bit more rare it is. Okay. So, an important thing here is that you're actually equipping the knife. So you have the 305 knife equipped. Now, if you didn't do anything different, this knife will still be equipped. Now, how you know it's equipped is if you do this. Now, again, I might actually put in the link, put a link in the description of 7AD's control scheme. I use the exact same, I probably should explain it at the beginning, but I use the exact same control scheme and key bindings as 7AD. It's just, I really like his setup. It's fantastic. Like my hands don't get that sore until if I'm playing maybe 7 hours or something like that, my hands will get a bit sore. But how you can actually find, so if I'm holding space, I'm equipping this knife, right? So if I want to equip the flashbang, I just hit 3. If I want to equip the knife, I hit 2. And if I want to equip a grenade, I hit 1. Now, I don't have a grenade right now. But if I want to just swap on the fly, a lot of runners will do this. They'll go into the menu, and then they'll, say if I wanted to select the flashbang, they'll do this. And then they'll go back into the menu to select the knife. It's slower doing that. It's a lot slower doing that. Like you actually stop, you're going into your inventory, you're kind of stopping the game, but the timer is still going, like it's very slow doing that. So instead of doing that, right, let's just select the knife again. What you're going to do is, you're basically going to tap space for a second. See the way he does that? Leon will do this, right? You'll see the knife on the back of his ass there, on his hip. You see the knife there. Now what we're going to do is to select the flashbang, we hit space and 3 right after. So we go. See the way the flashbang is there now? So you can do that while you're running. You do that while you're on the run. So you go. So you just, like, you will get used to that, but it's like. See? So you want the knife. So you're doing it like this. You're actually running like this. See? And then you're going to quick turn here. So just get used to that, okay? Now there's a part coming up now which is the shutter, and that it can be a pretty shit run killer as well. I can't remember who it was, but I actually, not to toot my own horn here, but I think it was myself and Mondo found this strat simultaneously. Because I found this for myself to be helpful for like a hardcore run that I was doing a while ago. Is where you shoot the floor. Doesn't always work, but it seems more consistent. So I'll show you in a minute. So you pick up this flash, you pick up this fuse, quick turn out, and there's going to be 2 zombies here, right? Now what we're going to want to do is, right, take this line and you're going to want to shoot the floor about here where the mouse is, right? And you're going to take a pretty sharp line towards where you have to insert the second fuse in the game, and then as soon as you put the fuse in, you pick up the knife on the wall directly at it, and then you have to turn around and you want to stab a zombie. So you want a zombie to grab you and stab him and push him away and then run backwards, because you're waiting. It sounds like a big time loss, doesn't it? But it's actually not, because you're waiting for the shutter to slowly open anyway. So this is how it works. A lot of things happen here very quickly. You might want to practice this. There's a save room there, so you can practice this a lot. It might not even work. See? Now, I picked up the knife before. It's hard when you're pausing it. I picked up the knife before I actually insert it. The idea is that you actually insert it first, and then you pick up the knife. So what you want to do is here, you let him grab you, mash this, and I like to hold, I like to hold A and S. It's just like, it's a good like angle, I find. Sometimes you get blocked by the zombie there, and Elliot on the floor, the crawler will grab you. Now, at the moment, the knife, let's just pretend that the knife that I picked up, let's just pretend I picked it up after I inserted the fuse. So if that happened, then that means the knife would be in that slot right there, I think. This is kind of weird without having the, you know, usually I don't have the flashbang in my inventory because I Yolo the prison. So I will explain the Yolo prison later on, but you don't have to do it that way. Alright, so now that that's done, we're gonna go up here. Just do a lot of stair skating, quick turning. Quick turn again, and you're gonna pick this up. It's gonna go to the very bottom of the inventory. Now it's actually a good spot for it to be in the inventory there. Quick turn here. I open this every single time. I open that because there's bullets there. Now, at the moment, it's actually very good that I opened that locker, and I would advise on most runners opening that locker, because you will need to pick up more ammo, and it's not a time loss by opening that locker. You're running by it like you just opened it, because you're going to want to pick up ammo later. Now, it's slightly different if you don't pick up the flashbang. It's actually better for ammo if you don't pick up the flashbang, because you can pick up a different set of ammo and it lasts you longer and enables you to more comfortably go through the sewers without having picking up ammo. Now, it's possible to do it still without, you know, the Yolo prison, but still. Shift boost that way. Like there, I'm holding S and D, and I'm tapping shift at the right time. So, this is the Misty room. This is actually kind of difficult to, you know, to this day, it can be a bit of an asshole, but like, it's consistent enough. Don't get me wrong. This is still consistent enough, right? So, you quick turn down here. Now, I remember there was an older strat where, a lot, you know, it's absolutely fine, but you can run right up here. And then the idea is, right, Misty and Misty's boyfriend are going to open the door, right? They'll bust through the door, and there's going to be a second there where you can actually run by both of them. You run through both of them, and they don't grab you at all. So, you have kind of a choice here. You can pull the lever here, and then decide to go in. Now, that's what I like to do. I'm pretty sure it's technically faster doing it that way, because there's no period where you're just standing there waiting to get in, kind of, you know. It seems more optimal. It seems faster to me hitting the lever before. Now, what I'm going to do is I hit the lever at a very specific time, and then I don't shift boost, because I find when I shift boost, he grabs me. So I hold D, and I hold shift. And you'll see Leon moving this way. So I kind of angle the camera down, so I'll have a bird's eye view of Leon, and I'll kind of see the zombies as well. So let's see if it works. Okay, let's see if it works. Let's see how that was done. Pick up the key. Quick turn back in. Get through the door. Shoot her. Right. This is a problem here. Not this right here, but this can be a problem. This is the biggest, kind of the hardest part of this, I would say, is getting out of here. I'm fairly sure it's not actual RNG, but sometimes Brock can just be outside here and right up at the door. I think it depends on how you go into the room. So it's actually good to mash pause here just to see where he is. Alright, see, he's fine. And when he's standing in this position, he's usually going to move that way to where he's facing. He'll lunge, but he most likely won't get you, you know. Now, that part will require a lot of practice. Now, at this point, you have to get rid of this. You have to discard that in the menu there. because you need to pick up bullets later on. And not only that, but you need to pick up a key item. Alright, so this is Mr. X here, right? This is the first time you see Mr. X. Most runners stand here and they aim at the wall to see how close they are to Mr. X. A lot of us found that, like, if you stand here and aim at Mr. X, yeah, he'll come at you, and then you just run forward and dodge him. I'll show you the dodge in a minute. I actually might reload this save just to show you. So this is what most runners do. Right? They do this. They aim at the wall, like, just to see that they're completely opposite this wall here, like parallel to that wall.
Shit!
And then they'll just aim.
Jesus Christ!
And then he tries to punch you there, but you run forward, okay? Now, let me load that again. And I'll explain why it's kind of not as good a strat doing that. But let me just show you a different way of doing it. It's kind of more precise. And the reason why it's not good doing that is because I think pretty much 90% of the time to 100% of the time, he will show up later in about like 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, and you'll have to dodge him. But on the other side, for some reason, it seems more consistent that he won't show up. Now, don't get me wrong, he still does show up, so this is the other strat. I kind of aim into this wall. I judge it just by how far I'm...
Jesus Christ!
So, for some reason, I don't know why, but like when you're standing at that side, it kind of makes him go a different way. He's like standing in a slightly different position. There's a much higher chance of him not showing up later on. So, like, and again, most of this run is just learning the route. If you know the route, that's kind of half the battle, you know. So, right now, we're gonna go into a room with a liquor. There's another liquor in the game now that we have to deal with. So this is fairly easy, right? So here's a consistent way of doing this. The idea here is that there's a liquor in this room, and you want to shoot the liquor with one bullet, and don't miss that bullet, right? Now, a consistent way of making you want the liquor to go up on the ceiling, and the most consistent way of doing that, Mondo, I think Mondo found this. I could be misreferencing some people here, but I just learned this from Mondo. He probably learned it from someone else, I'm not sure, but you look up. So watch. Look up. The liquor will always be there. Quick turn. Make sure you get into this room quick. Pick that up. Quick turn again. It's very important that you get out of this room quick, because there's a zombie outside that's like in this kind of starting position where his AI is just not really activated and he's like asleep. And you can quick turn out of this room. See him there? Look, he doesn't know anything. If you're too slow there, he will grab you. Alright. No sign of Mr. X. See what I mean? No sign of Mr. X. Like, that's proof there that it works. If you dodge him on the other side, I can almost guarantee you that he will be showing up here. And you're going to have to do like a little quick turn dodge. Now, you know, there's two different dodges that you can do. Maybe I should have showed you how to dodge him, but you basically just have to do a little I can probably play around with him later on. But anyway. So you can hear him in the background, kind of his footsteps are there. Alright, so here's a little strat here. If you shoot the floor here, it makes one of the zombies sleep for some reason. And I think Waifu found that back in the day. You shoot the floor here and it makes one of the zombies sleep. He doesn't do anything, he's completely harmless. So watch. Now again, there's RNG with the other two fuckers in the room as well. They can grab you, they can just do what they want. Elner can be a bitch. So shoot there. Open the door. Alright. There was no zombie here, there was RNG where there was no zombie there at all, okay? So the idea here is that you want to move the shelf twice. It sounds like really bad RNG. Right, the fat guy can be a big problem. He actually moves faster than the rest of the zombies, because he lunges forward. Okay, we got lucky there. Okay, we're gonna quick turn this way. No sign of Mr. X. Alright, so here's something about this part, right? When you come to the end of the hall here, there's a zombie standing here, and he can be quite problematic. So if you just run straight and then go into this room, and he doesn't lunge at you, he just completely ignores you, that's actually a bad thing, because he's gonna remain standing there when you come out of that clock tower, which can be a problem. So there's two ways to solve that. You can, just as you see him, you can shoot him in the head, and you can go into the room, and he won't be there. He'll be down here somewhere. Or you can slightly, just before you go into the room, slightly move to the left, and then when you hear him go, wah, you run back into the room and you bait him. That works as well. And you've saved the bullet. So I'll try and do it this way. It's still a very hard thing to execute, I find. See the way that works. Okay, see this right now? So he lunged at me. So there's a 90% chance that he won't be there. It still doesn't absolutely guarantee that he won't be there, but I would say there's a 90% chance he will not be a problem on the way out. So you see the inventory right now, right? We have to select this, what do you call it? This like gear thing. So all I gotta do is hit E and then go almost like completely down with the mouse and then just select it. Just the way I was with quickly selecting the spade key earlier, remember? Like that. Now I can do it faster than that. It's just a bit weird pausing it. It kind of makes it very disjointed. You want to move forward while you want to hold W and mashing the interact button there, because sometimes Leon just doesn't pick it up. You have to take a step as you're moving forward. He takes it up. So quick turn, stair skate, quick turn, and you're gonna want to aim just to cancel him from walking into the item. And you're going to want to shift boost backwards as well. For some reason, I don't like quick turning here because it makes Leon walk again for some reason. I just like turning into this turn, quick turn, and then mash. So again, everything is very, very calculated with the inventory here. Everything is calculated with this inventory. I just got a few tabs open. So this is actually, in my opinion, one of the most stressful part of the whole runs, I would say. From the clock tower to the prison. I hate this whole section here. This part and the labs are the most stressful parts of the game, I would say. It's just the whole game is trying to eat you alive. It's trying to attack you, so let's go.
Hope I don't have to write a report on this.
You pick this up. Sometimes that happens, you pick up that fucking... Right there. Like, see, no zombie here in front of me. Now this guy is here. He's RNG. But this guy is gone, just like I promised. Right, so this guy can be RNG. Let's see if he moves forward. See, I did a little stair skate there because I didn't. Sometimes in that, if I was in a real run and I was on a good pace here, I would just shoot him. I would make sure it's absolutely safe to shoot him. But there's a little kind of strat that I've been kind of thinking about there for a while. Maybe just doing a stair skate can kind of make him move forward, because you just want to make him move forward just a slight bit, you know. There's RNG there where you can just be completely free. It's hard to explain everything. There's no way I'm going to be able to explain all the variations of RNG in this game. There's a lot of RNG. If you want to do good in this game, you have to get in there and just start grinding it and start getting experience quick. So this is a weird dodge. You run forward, hold A for a second, and he misses. Pick up these bullets, reload. Now we have 11 bullets. 11 bullets is good, right? So this is one of the most chaotic part of the runs, I would say. Everything's very stressful here. There's going to be 4 zombies could be an issue here in this whole green hallway here. We call it the green hallway. And then you got to go through the dogs in the car park. All right, let's see. So when we open this door right now, there's a high chance that Elliot is going to be on the floor. Elliot is the crawler with no legs. Now, through experience, you will get to see what's free and what is not free. Free meaning that you don't have to shoot him, you can just run by him. So, let's see. Open the door. Alright, it looks free to me. Oh, what am I doing? Alright, see him right here? That's free RNG. Just make sure you don't take this turn too sharp. Now, there's going to be a zombie here that's mostly free. Now, there could be 2 zombies right here around this corner, okay? If there's 2 zombies here around this corner, you have to make sure that you shoot the second guy very quick. There's one zombie that's sort of facing a wall right inward here, and he's kind of free, okay? Let's just see, right? So that guy is free. Okay, this looks like... I see his buddy right behind him. This looks like bad RNG. Now this first zombie here, he's turning into the wall. He always does that. He's kind of free here. So we're going to try and shoot this second buddy here. And I just know, just from a glance, that he is bad RNG. Sometimes you get his second buddy here and he's just walking into the inner side of the wall and you can just run by. But it looks like he's moving into the center here. So you're going to want to probably shoot him. So let's see. I might not. This is actually very hard. Oh no. So in a brief second there, I realized no, he wasn't actually moving out. So I kind of went for it there. Got a bit lucky. This guy looks like he's going to turn inward here. So we're going to try and shoot him. Shoot him. He's free. See the knife still stuck in his chest from earlier when I stabbed him. Yeah, that is actually such an RNG section. Such an RNG heavy section that is. The zombies can be anywhere really. Now, speaking of heavy RNG sections here, the dogs. Now to this day, the dogs are still very unpredictable. You just kind of gotta go with it. See what happens. Now there's a line that we're going to take here. When we just pass this car, you're going to see that I'm going to be holding W and A for a second, and then I'm going to hold W again. We kind of found that there's a line that's kind of safe here, and I'll show you it now. So as soon as you turn this kind of angle, one at that angle, and funny enough, I got bitten, right? And a quick turn. It's just that they're the most RNG based enemies. There's almost nothing you can do about them. Now, it's a bit of a bitch that I took a bite here because I wanted to show you a certain strat here. And I will show you a strat. So, the thing about this whole run is you want to take one bite, at least one bite from a zombie. If you take one bite from a zombie, your DA is sorted for the labs. So, to talk about DA briefly, DA is difficulty adjustment. So, every time you do well in the game, i.e. pick up bullets, kill an enemy, damage an enemy, pick up supplies or something, pick up a new weapon, or even get to a new point of the game or kill a boss, the DA will increase, which means that it's making the game harder for you. And if you don't take any bites in the game at all, the DA will go to rank 7. Now right now it's rank 5, which is not too bad. On rank 7, zombies double lunge. So when they try and grab you, they'll be a little bit more aggressive. They'll be a little faster, and they'll deal more damage as well when they bite you. And that goes for every enemy. The lickers will do more damage too. If you're in fine on DA7 and a licker swipes you from like the ceiling, you will go to danger. So the idea is to prevent that from happening. So you take a bite. Now you're probably wondering, but like if you take a bite, that's time loss, right? Not really. There's a few times in the game where you can actually take a bite and you don't really lose time. So I'll show you now. So it's important that you select the flashbang for this part. Make sure the flashbang is on Leon's hip there. Okay? So this puzzle right here, right now, right? We got to insert these two little boxes. We got to open them. Now, if you're on a controller, even Nixissues, the world record holder, he runs on a controller. He swaps the mouse and keyboard here because you just have to. It's faster. And I'll show you why. Oh. It's so weird doing it like this, but so you gotta flick this like that, and then it opens this little box up, and then you select it, boom, put that in, examine, flick it like that, okay, and then you put it in, right? So the solution to this puzzle is, right, you don't touch the first one, leave that the way it is, right? It's 1 1 2 1 2 3 1 1 1 2 1 1 1. That puzzle has a lot of inputs. There's a lot of shit to do there. But even trying to do that really quickly is very fast because you're getting nervous. If you make one mistake, you'll get lost and it's back to the gas station. So right. Here I'll just do what's called I call it the Mondo strat, where you pick this up. Let's just pretend that the dog didn't bite us. I kind of messed up a quick turn there, but just reload that again. Let's pretend the dog didn't bite us and our health is full here, right? So this is what you kind of take this line here, right? And then we want this zombie to bite us in the back. And it doesn't really lose time, so I'll just demonstrate it first. See that? That's, in my opinion, that's actually the best strategy to get through this prison, because not only have you gotten through it very fast, you've actually taken a bite, so you've lowered the DA, and the fact that the flashbang gets like detonated, it cancels out the whole animation, the rest of the slow animation of the zombie biting it. So, you know, I'm on caution here because, and that's bad, I'm on caution here because of the fact that I took a dog bite as well, okay? So, take this line, the dog bite, the crawler there will always miss you. So let me try that again, right? So that strat is very, very good to do, okay? So, in this case, I don't really want to be... If I was in a real run right here, this is the strat that I would use. I would do this. I don't want to go into caution. You take this line, you're like as straight as possible, right? And you want to shoot this zombie in the head. And when you shoot him in the head, you run forward like a step or two, and then you throw the flashbang. And keep moving forward. That's the strat that I would use in this situation. Because the DA is just lowered just enough for the game to kind of lower the DA until the labs, so that the labs, you have a chance of going into labs without the DA skyrocketing here. You know, one dog bite is enough. Now, let's pretend I didn't have the flashbang at all, right? Now, if I have the flashbang, I would probably want to use the flashbang here because you want to get it out of your inventory, you know. So this is the Yolo prison. Usually when I don't pick up the flashbang, this is the flashbang I picked up in RPD1 like 5 minutes into the run. This is what I do. Now, again, I'll put the link in the description. I'm not going to go through too many details here because I want to go through. I don't think most people probably won't do this strat, but if you want to learn it, watch Nixissues tutorial. It's brilliant. He goes through it in great detail, so I won't waste your time. But this is called the Yolo prison. Now, this is RNG based. Some of this is RNG based. Bad RNG. See the way the female, I know exactly what happened there. The female zombie took a line where I triggered her to bite me instead of the last guy. You want the last guy to bite you. Now you can still, I didn't see it coming. You can still get out of there. You can still dodge Mr. X's punch, but he managed to punch me, unfortunately. Let me try it again. I just want to show you an example. Alright. You take this line. This looks good. No. That's bad. See how RNG based it is. Now, it's the fastest possible way of getting through the prison. But it is a bit, that was bad RNG because the last guy moved forward. You want him to stay there. Let's try again. This actually doesn't fail very often for me in runs, oddly enough. Alright, that was, I call that the Floyd Mayweather dodge. A zombie I didn't get touched there. I just saw the fact that the zombie wasn't grabbing me, and then I just was able to react to it really quickly. It's probably it might be the most advanced fucking thing you can do in this game is that dodge there. Like when the zombie doesn't grab you and being able to react to Mr. X. A lot of things happen very quick there. So let me try it again. I just want to show you a perfect example of how it's meant to go, you know. It's slightly slower than it that way. Dodging Mr. X. You want the last guy to bite you. Take a wide line here. I don't know why he's doing this. Let me try it again. Now don't worry, I won't be here all day. But I get a bit stubborn sometimes with this. I just want to show you an example. It's kind of very strange it's not working once. I don't know why it's not working. Maybe it's because I'm taking a line that's a bit too wide. Usually this line works for me, I don't know. There's a very strange aspect to this fucking thing. Let me show you again. Take that line. Bad RNG again, this is unreal. This is why the Yolo prison isn't always viable in runs. It kind of has a mind of its own. Don't get me wrong, it's very, very execution based. Let me see that. You take this line and then you hold A for a second. Don't know why it's not working. This is very embarrassing, I don't know why. I've done this a million times on runs and it's just not working for me today. But you can see why it's probably not that worth. Now I still do it. It's a lot more worth it to use the flashbang. Slightly slower, but it's more worth it using the flashbang. There we go. That's what's meant to happen. So that's exactly what's meant to happen there. That is like the prime Yolo prison there. I think my line was a little bit too wide earlier on. There's a very specific line you're going to take at the end there. I don't know what it is. Maybe your adrenaline is going in, when it's a real run, your adrenaline is going, and you know that the whole run is on the line. You perform better when I find I actually perform better when I'm nervous at this section. I don't feel like I perform better nervous later on in the game. But when I'm nervous here, I'm like, right, I gotta do fucking good here. This fucking line has to be perfect. But I find it's actually a good thing when I'm nervous here. But again, right. Let's just go through what you would do in this situation though. So, right. I got bitten by the dog. I have to get rid of this flashbang. Let's just try and get rid of it. Let's continue the run. It kind of blocks you there. You don't always have to get grabbed by him. There we go. And then you shift boost. And then you actually can take a bit of a breather for a while. The game is actually quite easy here. There's no stress for a while until the sewers. Maybe until the Ada section. So right now we got RPD 1 done and RPD 2 done. And it's a bit of a bitch that the dog bit us in this one because I wanted to show you what it was like to take a bite and then lower the DA enough, you know. Let's see what we can do. So you take this line, just left of the fire extinguisher here. Well, not the water thingy there.
What's what exactly are you looking for?
They don't really have it over here.
More info on the people responsible for this mess.
So you go over, clearly the run's out and it takes you like a while to notice.
Road's out.
You know. So we go through Kendall's gun shop here and the rest of the game is, for the next few minutes the game is just plain sailing. It's just movement, it's just running, it's just holding W, running the line. A few quick turns here and there, a few stair skates. But there's a very important grenade pickup that we have to do at the crocodile.
What a mess.
So, skip this cutscene. I like running to the left of Ada. I feel like it's a fraction faster than running to the right there. Takes you a while to get past there, I find. I think it's slightly faster going that way. Stair skate twice. I like stair skating twice there. Quick turn, stair skate, stair skate, stair skate, stair skate, stair skate. I like the stair skate once there. Even Orch does that.
Based on what you've said,
just stair skate once there.
Sewer seems fitting.
It just seems you can stair skate twice. It's no problem. It's not really a big difference.
Gee.
So again, you're just running.
Can't imagine a real scientist being down here.
You're not really doing anything too complicated here. You're just letting the game play out. You know.
Come on. Sewers are run by the city.
Now,
how could they have a
we're going to pick up a grenade in a second, and it's going to go in between the two knives in the inventory. Okay. Now, it will be different in my run where I don't pick up the flashbang.
What the hell?
I would pick up the grenade, and it would usually go where the handgun is in the inventory. But it's a nice little trick because wherever this grenade goes in your inventory, that's where the badge is going to go in the labs.
Again?
So wherever you put the grenade here, if you're doing everything the way I say, you know that that's where the badge is going to go. And it's very important to know where the badge is going to go. I can explain why later. So now, funny enough, the way you remember the sequence to avoid the crocodile is Ada. So if you're on the keyboard, the solution is ADA. So you dodge him by holding A, and then he bites. You hold D, then he bites, and then you hold A. So it's Ada. That's the solution. So when he slides down here, you want to just hold aim and shoot, bang. Okay. Sometimes I notice that some runners have their aim lowered here, and they have to aim first and then move up. I think if you have that problem, you have to. I think you have to toggle the camera shake for some reason. I think Backyard Caveman found that out. With this grenade here, you can't just mash, right? Because if you mash, it'll go in the first slot. You want to hit it like this. Pick it up, hit it again, and then put it here. And then you're good to go.
Leon, up here.
That's optimal
Hell was.
inventory
Just
usage
get
there.
up here.
Inventory setup. This looks kind of cool. You can get past her by just doing that before she's able to move in here. It's not a time
You
save.
said the
it just,
virus
you know,
turned people
looks
into
cool, I guess.
monsters, not reptiles.
Then you can take a slight breather in this elevator.
I'm just impressed.
You can just
Peace.
face. Now, I think it's important that you face here. I think if you keep facing here, it doesn't actually close. I could be wrong. But I just like the face here. It's actually pretty consistent that she will close the door and the game will just continue. So like I like to look at chat at this part, you know. I like to just read chat and
Umbrella
just
sells
talk,
monsters
you know,
like
have a
that
laugh or
to
what.
who? Our military?
But right now
Somebody
the Ada
else's?
section is going to come up, so it's going to be
They
a
don't
bit of a
sell the
character
monsters.
switch. So we're
They sell the
36 minutes into the
viruses
run
that
now.
make them.
Usually
The
I'd be
Nexus
here
makes
at like maybe
viruses.
21 minutes or
Scary as
something.
that alligator was.
But I am doing things a lot slower. So you want to be running into this before it opens. Turn. Make sure you don't mash too hard here because you can interact with that typewriter. Now a lot of people reckon that you have to.
Identify yourself.
Remember Dteq saying that you have to let this cutscene run out a little bit because if your graphics card or your CPU isn't good,
Need to dispose of it.
I think it can actually make the timer run while it's fading to black a little bit more. See the way the timer is going right there? I think it can be slightly.
You can run, Annette, but you can't.
It can kind of run slightly into the black, kind of, you know, the black screen for a bit. You know, it can be slight time loss. I never noticed it myself, but I do it now. Maybe it's just a placebo. Just let the cutscene run out for a little bit. So, secret weapon time, as Johnny Gazer would say.
Hide.
Mash to pick up the secret weapon.
Secret weapon time.
Now, a lot of people. So watch. If you hold this, it goes up, right? But for some reason, if you hold this one, it's slower. But it's better to mash. It's actually faster if you mash. So you go. It's slightly faster if you mash. Don't know why. So you have a choice here of stopping right here and hitting this next one. Again, mash. I kind of fucked that up a little bit. You want to move to the left a bit just before it pops. So the thing about these hacks is, right? The thing about this hack, right? All of them, right? Now, they're all a bit different. So, a lot of runners would do this. They'd be like this, right? I have to explain, but because there's a zombie that's going to get me if I don't do this properly. But like, if you stop, see that it's going to start. It's going to start here. It's going to go all the way around. Or the way you're looking at me right now, it's like this. It's going to go like that. It's going to go all the way around, and when it gets to about 45, that's when you can stop. So it's like this. Watch. See the way I kind of stopped there when I was at the 45 mark, kind of 3/4 around the circle. You don't have to go all the way, and it's faster doing that because you're not standing there for as long. Now this guy, you take this line with this guy. Make sure you don't fuck up movement at all. You need to be quick here. You can actually get by this guy, and he's sleeping. He doesn't do anything. If you're too slow there, he will bite you. Now there's another way you can turn around to the right. There's another passage where you can run around them. There's like a box you can run around, but it's slower down there. A zombie drops here. Make sure you take this line. Mash. Stop at 45. It's done. Alright, you got bad RNG here. You have to shoot this guy. I missed 2 shots there. Usually there's RNG there where you can just run around them. I would have preferred to show you that because that's more common. Now this quick turn here, I like to do this little quick turn here. I just do this.
Always
And
been
I
good at
aim
running.
backwards.
Even that.
And then we're gonna come about here. Hit this first. Stop about 45. Stop 45. This one takes longer. Don't quite stop at 45. Stop at about 10 to 5 then. Some of them are slower than others. There's like it seems like there's like 2 different types of hacks. One of them is really quick. One of them is a lot slower. And now we get to do the furnace now. So the furnace is in there, and technically the furnace, I would probably label it a puzzle, because you have to figure out what sequence you need to go in with the hacks in order to escape it. It's actually, I think it's the only puzzle in the game that's fatal if you don't solve it, you know, because you die. Now, one thing you want to be doing here, and it's very important, is that you waste all your bullets. Waste every bullet that you have here. Because that will lower the DA slightly. It'll lower the DA by 90. Now, we shot the zombie there, so it probably lowers it by 80-ish. Something, I don't know. So, this is the sequence here, right? You'll want to learn this, right? 45. This is not 45. This is a slower one. About 10 to 45. This is a slow one. Hit this. Hit this. Hit this. Back to that one. Now, even that wasn't great. That was a 45.13. My PB is getting out there 45.99. I never quite got 46. Orch and Trey can get 46s. I think Mondo can get 46s. I got 45.99 before. I mean, it's practically it, but the furnace is a great kind of measurement of the two different types of hacks. There's one where you got to stop when it hits at about the 45 marks, like 3/4 of the way. And then there's another one where it stops at like maybe, you know, 10 minutes to, you know, the old clock, you know, I don't know how to describe it, but. So that's the Ada section done. I'm gonna shift boost here. Aim into this, okay?
Ada?
Because it will stop Leon from walking, okay? A few stair skates there. Now here's a little tiny thing. Mondo likes doing this, right? See the way right there? If you just scroll the wheel, if you put the wheel here, you'll know how straight your line is, right? You want to put the mouse, it's such a tiny thing, but Mondo does it and a lot of us do it. You put the mouse there to just see that your line is optimal. It's such a kind of Curtiiz thing to do, you know? Alright. So there's a zombie coming up in a minute. This zombie, Nicolas Cage, he just ignores it. Just run by him. Shoot this zombie in the back of the head here. I genuinely just missed that shot. Alright. So, this right here, right? There's a knife here, right? Now, again, you'd shoot that zombie in the back of the head, you wouldn't be losing as many bullets. This is, I'll obviously need to pick up more bullets. This knife here, right? Now, you'll want to aim before you do that, because you'll stop. Leon will stop to walk here. See the way he stopped? So you come in like that, and you put it there. That's the optimal, like, usage of the inventory there. And it'll all become apparent. Alright, so we're getting into the bells of the sewers now. Let's see. So this guy, here's the first G mutant in the game. I'll shoot this guy. Run by him. That takes a minute. Now let me play around with this guy for a second, right? Let me have a look, right? It's very important that you actually practice dodging these guys, because they actually are pretty RNG based. Not this one in particular, but there's like 2 of them later on that are RNG based. So. See the way he tried to grab me there? Keep practicing that. See that? So I gotta get up because I can't. There's no more room here. Practice that. It's very, very healthy to practice that, okay? Practice that little bite point, you know? It's harder to bait him than probably any other enemy in the game, as opposed to Ivies. Ivies are a bit harder to bait. So I would say just practice it for like 10 minutes. 10 minutes just playing around with one of them, you know?
Where'd she go?
Alright. I'm usually here at about 30 minutes in, or 43 minutes into the room. So, shift boost this way. Don't mash that because you can pick up that map. Aim and you grab that. Okay, so. Now you can run into this room and you can grab bullets. Maybe I should have grabbed bullets here. But So we're going to pick up a T-bar here. It's a key item that will enable us to open 2 gates in the sewers. So we don't put it in the first slot, and I'll show you why, right? Put it in the bottom one, okay? And you gotta get used to that, because it'll enable you to save time later at Tyrant with inventory. It's just way better, right? Alright, so we're gonna go into this room right here, right? There's like a set of stairs, the 2 zombies, right? If the zombie... Now, again, I'm doing this very slowly at the minute, so maybe the game is gonna screw me over here with some weird RNG I've never really seen before, but... This first zombie, the kind of bagel zombie, we call them Pretzels in Kojima. Got 2 buddies down here in the sewers, but... the pretzel zombie is the fat guy with the high vis jacket. If he's usually walking down the stairs, not facing you. If he's facing you, you have to shoot him and you have to shoot the other guy. Let's see what we get. Quick turn. Okay, he's not facing us, so he's harmless. Make sure you kind of take it tight here. He can sometimes grab you. All right, so I'm gonna jump down in here. Now I wasted a lot of bullets there. It's RNG. What you want to do is, now look, this is all opinion. I don't do that in my runs because it kind of increases DA, and to be honest, maybe I shouldn't have done it, because now my DA is probably screwed. My DA is probably going to be 7 when I get into the labs. But I think, as you know, if you're learning how to run this, I would probably say crippling that zombie is a good idea, because you have to come back. And it's a headache having to worry about 2 zombies, you know. Sometimes that makes that zombie completely disappear now on the floor. Sometimes he's just in an easy position. You really primarily only have to worry about 1 zombie, right? But it was probably a bad thing of me doing that, because I only got a dog bite. A dog bite does less damage than a zombie bite, so i.e. the DA isn't as low. Now, G Mutant comes out here. Make sure you take this line, take a decent distance away from him. He can stun you and grab you. Oh, try to be Mondo there. Now you can use. I tried to use the mouse. Like, you can use the mouse. Remember I showed you earlier where you can actually just flick the mouse to the edge of the inventory, and it's really quick. I find that kind of a hard one to do because it's a single slot item, you know. But you can perfectly just use the keyboard. I'm gonna do it next time. You need to pick this up. So this is where the inventory gets a bit specific. We're going to pick up the rook plug here. The rook plug is going to go here, watch. Put the rook plug there, okay? Pick up these bullets, because we definitely need these. Stair skate when you get in there to stop them from walking. You're absolutely going to have to shoot this guy, right? So just before you get into the water here, shoot him, okay? Now, let me reload that, right? See the way that was free? You shoot him, get in the water, he's free. He goes underwater, right? There's another RNG variation where he can not really be like that. Let me pick this up again. He can already be in the water. Like, kind of underwater, half underwater. I want to show you how to deal with that. There's like 2 RNG variations that can occur here. So let's see. Okay, the same thing again. Maybe he's locked into this specifically now because of the save, I'm not sure. But anyway. And look, this is the beauty about crippling that zombie. You get this RNG more often than not. You can just choose to run around this zombie. You can completely just run up to the right of him, like this. And he misses you. And you just run by. And let me show you again. It's slightly slower running around them, but it's very fast and it's very safe doing that, you know. I'll show you again. See, I'm shift boosting all over the place here. It's very... I'll just put that there. It's not meant to be there. Pick up the bullets. Okay. Alright, same RNG again. It seems to be kind of fixed in with this guy for some reason. Shooting. Kind of awkward spot there. Alright. So this is the fastest way of getting through this guy. You have to shoot him in the head. Take the optimal line. Oh, missed him. Take that line with that zombie. And now you don't have to worry about those zombies ever again. Alright. Turn in a little bit. Now, I would do that as fast as I could in a real run. But I just wanted to show you, you can do it perfectly with just the keybinds, like just the keys. Curtiiz says that's the hardest shift boost in the game to get. And it kind of is. Now, there is a kind of a different shift boost that you got to do when you're in water here, and I'll explain it now in a minute, right? I'll explain it right here. So, I'm going to get up on this ledge, and you're going to see me let go of shift and let go of W for a second, okay? And you're going to see Leon... I'm going to... Watch. I'm going to show you the normal way of getting up, right? That's kind of slow, right? Alright. See how... Just keep that image in your mind, just how like how he was there, you know.
God,
Let me go back into the water. So all I did was hold W and shift. So watch, I'm going to do a shift boost here. It's a specific shift boost that can kind of get him start running sooner, you know. So see the way I was a bit faster there. So what I did was I just did this. Now what I'm doing is, I know it looks like I'm hitting shift and W at the same time, but I'm actually not. I'm hitting W slightly before shift, so it's like, but a lot quicker. So it's like, you probably don't even notice it. Like, let me just do it again. Let me just do that again. See the way he moved slightly sooner. Like, I don't like doing it in the water. Mondo does it very well. I don't really like doing it in the water. Shoot this guy, move forward. Now, this guy, there's a way of shooting this guy and making him go underwater, and he's not a problem. It's very consistent, but the timing of the shot is very specific. I find that it can kind of partially matter where you shoot him on the body. I've often gotten away with shooting him almost anywhere in the body, but I think it kind of does make sense that, you know, you have to shoot him kind of in the front area. So I'll show you. So that works, right? The G mutant comes out of here, take this line, the optimal line, he will just ignore you. Stairs gate. Now, there's no enemies to worry about in this run. In the B scenario, there's absolutely an enemy to worry about. There's an extra zombie in here. The sewers is terrible in the B scenario. So we picked up the queen piece, insert it here, start moving to the left. I'm going to quick turn up these stairs. Pick up the king, goes in the first slot. Picking up the queen again. And then we're going to select the queen really quick there. Oh shit, I fucked up my movement there. Mash. It's very awkward explaining this when I'm trying to do it really quick. Pick this up. And it's done. That room is... There's a lot of movement in that room, but it's there's no enemies to worry about. It's all pure execution. Alright, here comes probably, again, a very notorious part of the run. I think a few people call this part the G pool, because there's 2 G mutants that you got to worry about. Well, actually, there's 3 of them that you can... There can be 3 of them that you have to worry about. So, there's a runner named FMC. He's a Brazilian runner, great runner of this game. I've known him a while, and he kind of... I don't know if he found this, but he kind of theorized that once you're going into the water, if you're holding... I'm going to show you a few variations, but if you're holding W and A while going into the water, it can sometimes, more often than not, seem to make the whole section free. Right, I'd like to pause it for just this brief second here, just to see where the G mutant is. Alright, he's not free. Bad RNG. That's bad RNG. You had to bait him timeless. I'll show you again. It's very, very strange, this part of the game. There can be a lot of RNG here. Let's see what he does now. Alright. If you hear him make that noise, it means he's spitting babies. He's making babies. And he's free on the right pass. So he's free. He is absolutely free here on the right pass. You can just keep going. He ignores you. Okay? He just completely ignores you. That's what you want him to do. That's very good RNG. It's free. Take this line. He kind of is not really a problem. Unless maybe you have to bait the other guy and you've wasted time. So So this is actually a very hard thing to do. This next part, I don't like this. I don't, and even in my PB, I didn't even attempt doing this. I could have saved maybe 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds. The object here, the goal here is to try and, there's going to be a G mutant that's going to be coming at you in the water, like swimming towards you pretty quick, and you're going to want to shoot it in the eye 3 times. Sometimes you can get a critical shot and it can like stun in 1 or stun in 2. So watch. It can be a very hard thing to execute, especially when the pressure's on you and you're on a good pace. You know, this is like over half an hour into the run, you know. That's the fastest way of doing it, unless you get a crit and you get lucky and you got, you know, a crit means like it's like 1 shot or even 2 shots. That was 3 shots. Usually it's 3 shots. If it's 1 shot, it could sometimes be rip run. He recovers very quick and you're very far away from him, so he will be able to grab you. Now, let me show, now that is the fastest strat of doing it. That is the fastest way of doing it. Let me show you the safe way of doing it. That was like the old strat, you know. It's a safe strat. And it's completely fine doing it. I did it in my PB, you know. There's no shame in doing this way. Now, it's important, if he does that, there's something weird about this section here. If this G mutant is standing like here or even closer here, for some reason his hitbox is so bejeged, like it can jut out to the right here and it'll look free, but it won't be free. It's always safer to go around them on the left side here for some reason. After the bait. Now, if he spits babies, yeah, you can just go on the right. But if he doesn't spit babies, go on the left side. Alright, so this is the safe way of doing it. You waste no bullets by doing this. Just get up, wait for a second, and then go. That's the safe way of doing it. And to be honest, it's probably better DA-wise doing it that way as well, because I took a dog bite, I didn't take a zombie bite, so the DA isn't as low as I wanted it to be. So I don't want to damage another enemy, you know. It's probably better getting rid of these bullets completely. So this guy is free at the moment. That's the beauty about crippling that zombie. Stair skate. There's an extra zombie there on the way back, but I think Nixissues was saying there's only like a 5% chance of that zombie getting you. Sometimes he can just aggro and he can get you. Okay? So before you want to go in here, you want to make sure you have the grenade equipped. See the grenade on this hip there? So it's a knife, grenade. The solution here, right? You're gonna mash the queen. Mash here. Do that. Now here's one here, right? This is a weird one, okay? Now I have to pick this up. The knight goes in there, so the rook will have to go in here. A lot of runners will probably be like, it's a shit spot where this. I have to select this. It's very far in the inventory. How do you optimally do this, right? But what I do is, right. Now I do this very quick, but I just hit Q, SD, SD, enter, enter. Okay. So it's like that. I'm hitting 2 inputs at the same time. And it's like, it's pretty damn quick. You'll see Orch doing that too. And Mondo. So it looks like this. Pretty quick, right? Pretty damn quick that is. Now, it's a really good strat, I find, you know. It's just annoying that there's an item in the inventory that's that far away, you know. But it's a very fast way of doing it. Alright, so I made a tutorial. I actually have a tutorial. I'll put it in the description where I'll go in extreme detail of this fight. I think a lot of people seem to have problems with this G2 fight. I'm telling you right now, it's not as intimidating as it looks. This fight is a bit annoying because you do have to rely on something completely kind of outside the fight. That's like just not the, you know, you have to rely on hitting him with a crane at the right time, and you have to damage him enough to make the crane one cycle him. So here's what we do is, right, we do this, right? So sorry, I fucked up that puzzle. So what's going to happen here is, okay, now again, if you are not confident with this fight, I would advise looking at my tutorial. I even put it on speedrun.com, you know, everyone can watch it, you know, people seem to like that tutorial. I go into a lot of detail. So G2's hand is going to pop out here, right? So you want to get to about here, move back, and then throw it. Okay, so do you see that on the SRT? See the red number there? It says 94.6%. That's G2's health. The other 100% is just some zombie or enemy it's picking up in the area. So the reason why you throw that grenade is to prevent this whole cycle here of the claws going through like the ceiling, and it's like, I don't know, it's probably like 20 seconds of time loss or something. It's more. I don't know how long. I don't even know how much time loss it is. And another benefit of that is that you've already damaged him as well. So I've damaged him almost 6%. So it's important that you're standing at this side of the shutter. With Claire, she stands this side. Leon stands this side. Okay. You might want to lower your graphics for this part as well. You might, if your CPU is not very good. Quick turn. Quick turn. Now I'm telling you, it's very important you stand on the right side of the shutter because it will make the fight weird. So he's behind me. You press this. Let's see what happens. Start knifing him. Again, I'll go in far more detail in my tutorial. Okay, the knife should break. You want to break the knife. Hit him once or twice after this. That's good. Maybe 3 times. And then you hit this optimally. You want to get him to under 50% health. So see the way his health is under 50% health. It's actually so perfect right now. It's 49.8% health. It has to be under 50, okay? So he roars right now, and he's going to come at me. Now, it's important that when I dodge him, I'm going to kind of run into him. I want to pick up the flashbang first. You want to pick up the flashbang first because it's going to go to the right of the inventory, like right to the bullets, and then the knife is going to go directly beneath. And just like I promised you earlier, the badge later on going into the labs will go in that center spot where the grenade was. So let me move into it. Pick this up, pick that up, aim. You want to aim here because it always points Leon in the right direction after the cutscene. So he's dead. That's a 1 cycle. That's a perfect 1 cycle, that is, because we hit the button. It couldn't have been sooner. I like mashing shift here because I'm not used to the timing. All right, luckily I got the shift boost there, right? So solid G2.
Let's hope that's the last of them.
Stair skate, stair skate, stair skate. Mash. Shift boost. Take a beeline to that. Mash. And then that's the fight done. That's the whole section done there. Alright, so we're heading into the labs now with Ada. Alright, so the DA right now is saying it's 7. It's kind of unfortunate.
Nice.
Now, we can manage that. You want the DA to be lower. Right. You want the DA to be like 69 here. It's usually 69 here. But the fact that we took the dog bite, which does less damage than a zombie bite, the DA is struggling to stay in 6, so it means that the game is going to be a little harder for us. But we can actually manipulate that, so I'll show you now in a minute. Shift boost. Aim here just at the last step, because it'll actually prevent them from walking. Alright, so I usually like to go into the labs with 3 bullets spare. So overall I like to go into the labs with about 15 bullets overall, maybe 14 or 15 bullets. So the waste 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So reload. So look at the DA now. So take a good look at the DA now. It was 7. So every bullet is 10 like DA units or whatever measurement it is or whatever, I don't know. But it's 6,969. It's kind of a funny number, but that means that when we pick up a knife, it will go over 7. So we would probably a knife is 50 DA points. So we're going to have to waste a few more bullets. When this cutscene is done, you mash. And just like I said, that badge is going to go into that slot where the grenade was. So I want the DA. You know what? I'm probably going to waste 2 more bullets here. It's a little bit more problematic when a dog bites you in this run, because you have to go into. It means you have to go into labs with a few less bullets to make it be in DA7, under DA7. So the problem with DA7 as well is that like when you run into a zombie and you shoot them in the head, there's a very, very high chance the zombie will not get stunned with one bullet. And that can be very, very, you know, there's a trickery involved with that. You know, you think you stunned him sometimes and he just doesn't. He'll grab you and it's rip run, it's back to the gas station. But on DA6, there's a very, very high chance that he will not, the zombies will get staggered in one shot. There's a higher chance than usual than like in RPD. Sometimes they can take a headshot, they tank a headshot, they just bang, nothing happens, and they still they still come forward. But there's a very, very good chance that that won't happen. So we're gonna pick up a knife right in the kitchen. So there's a zombie here called Curtiiz, named after the amazing runner of this game, Curtiiz, who has the world record for PRA standard. You just run through here, don't pick up anything there. Now again, I'm showing you how to do things pretty optimally, you know. I'm not doing a lot of safe strats here. So there's a knife here. You pick up this knife. Okay, this is really bad RNG. I just saw the zombie there. So that's kind of bad RNG, okay? Mash. Turn the camera really quick to see where the zombie is. Oh, I missed it. Right, unfortunate. Now there is a strategy there where you shoot the door. I don't like doing that, and neither does Mondo. There's a strat there where you can shoot that door on the way into the kind of cafeteria area where the zombies were, the other zombies that didn't go near us, and it kind of makes that zombie walk into the wall, sort of. But it's RNG based. Sometimes it doesn't work, and you've just wasted a bullet, and in many cases it can actually be time loss. So I don't like doing that. I like to just go in there and then just try and shoot the zombie myself. Okay. All right. So the DA right now is 6,988. We have to pick up another flashbang, right? And it's actually as far as I know, it's the last like piece of equipment, like combat equipment that we pick up in the game. Is this next flashbang? I could be wrong about that, but I think it is. And a flashbang is 40 DA points. Now, when you throw a flashbang, it actually lowers the DA by 40. But again, we need to lower this to say, I think we have to waste about 2 or 3 bullets here. So let's see this, right? Let's have you'll have a period here where you can actually do nothing. So you can go 1, 2. Okay, I have to waste 1 more bullet. Okay, now don't panic. You will actually be able to. You will be able to get rid of another bullet soon. I'll show you where you can waste another bullet if you don't waste all the bullets that you need to over there. Hit this button, stay escape down, keep below this button. There's a puzzle coming up now. Now, the labs is not only a very hard part of the game, but there's a lot of puzzles in the labs. It's like there's an insane amount of puzzles. It's very puzzle heavy at the end of the game. And terrible when you're nervous. So here's the point of the game where you're waiting for a second. There you go. Your DA is fine. It will never go to DA7 now. Unless something crazy happens, it's not supposed to. So watch. Run by this Ivy. Pick up this flashbang. And then look at the DA. It's just under DA7. So the game is still at DA6. So the zombies will most likely take only 1 headshot. And most likely the lickers will not aggro. They will not like turbo. So, now again, lab's a very hard part of the game. I only have a few bullets. I have 8 bullets. You need 2 bullets for the end game. So here, this is a puzzle here, okay? Let me show you how to do this, okay? So, the first puzzle, if you can look at this like a number pad, don't even look at the symbols. Think of this as like a number pad. The combination to this is 3, 1, 2, 3. That's the combination. Enter. You want to be holding forward. Hit. You got to hit interact as soon as you see Leon. The next one is going to be 2, 0, 4. Or is that? I don't know what that number is. What number is that? I'm looking at my phone. 2067. Right, I'm confusing it with the B scenario. This. And you want to practice that. get fast at doing that. Sorry, I don't know my fucking my pad numbers.
Dispensing
Anyway,
solution.
so
now.
another reason why it was good to waste bullets there was that you're going to pick up a key item here that you're going to be mashing, I think, 3 times to insert it in some part. You're going to put it in the first slot. So you want to have no bullets like left over other than the bullets that are already in the gun in the first slot. So all you got to do is mash. So now it's in the perfect slot. And there's a puzzle coming up. This puzzle can be kind of timing specific. You can mess this puzzle up very easily. So see the puzzle, it's like red symbol, green symbol, blue symbol, right? The solution to this puzzle is red, green, blue, repeated like 3 times. So it's like red, green, blue, red, green, blue, red, green, and it's done. Aim before I go in there. I kind of fucked that up, but
Manual
red,
mode engaged.
green.
Adjust amount of solution to
Blue,
match cartridge capacity.
You can hold it at the last one. You can hold this one. It just automatically goes to the very end. It can suck so hard though when you make a mistake there, when you hit it too soon and you hit the wrong one. It's like a 2.5 second time loss or something like that. Probably more. You're gonna mash. Here's the first Ivy shot of the game. Now I would probably say the Ivies are the most dangerous enemies in the whole game. Maybe. Right. So see the way I like doing. It's up to you. Other runners have very different ways of dealing with them. I like it that you can almost just like put that in slow motion. Did you notice the way I was waiting for him to take a step? I shoot the leg like there's a bubble on his leg, like a little kind of bulb. You have to shoot these like orange bulbs. They could be the hitboxes of them can be so fucking bullshit sometimes. Like you're literally hitting it and nothing's happening. But as I find it so consistent where he's standing there and he takes a step with his left foot and you aim at the left foot, bang. It always seems to work for me. Pretty invariably works for me. I would say sometimes it doesn't, but it's probably because of me, execution based. So here, you'd want to make sure you have your flashes equipped. Okay, it's very important that you have your flashes equipped here. Now, there's a licker that's going to show up here. Look up. The licker will look up. The licker always ignores you. This part can be quite stressful. There's 2 zombies here on the way down, so we're going to go up the stairs. Make sure your quick turns and your stair skates are good. You got to practice those. And we're going to pick up this modulator. And we're going to move. Now, I know it looks like it couldn't be further away in the inventory, but it's fine, don't get me wrong. It's actually okay. You will get used to selecting that in the end, like when you have to use it. So, right. This can be RNG based a lot here now. Let's see. Okay, he was 1 shot. If that was the A7, he probably wouldn't be 1 shot. Now, I could have shot him far sooner. But I actually think there's something weird there about his RNG, about his behaviour. I told Mondo this as well, and he agreed with me. There's a period there where he sort of stumbles. I find so much more often than not, if he's stumbling, if he's in that stumble animation, and you still manage to shoot him in the head, even at DA6, he'll tank the headshot and nothing will happen. So try and shoot him before he stumbles or a little bit after he stumbles. I just wanted to be safe here because I want to show you how to do something in the end. I want to show you how to do a certain strat with 2 bullets because my bullet count is quite shit right now. Alright, here comes this room. This room is very scary for a lot of people. There's 3 zombies in this room and 2 lickers, right? Now this strat was found, I believe, by 7RayD. We're going to move into the room a little bit and we're going to shoot the ceiling, right? We're going to shoot the ceiling and we're going to throw a flashbang. And what happens is, you don't really have to shoot the ceiling. I find it pretty consistent shooting the ceiling. I think Mondo shoots the floor. But 7RayD still shoots the ceiling, as far as I know. I still shoot the ceiling. What it makes the lickers do, it makes them jump up to the ceiling, which is good because if the lickers are on the ceiling and you throw a flashbang, they'll fall off. They'll get stunned and they'll fall off on their backs and then do this like almost baby cry, and it's a longer animation. It'll buy you more time to run in and out of the room, and they won't do anything. So this is how it's done, right? About there. Alright, perfect. See the way that the lickers are like hanging from the wall? They'll fall. They fell. You'll see them do this little baby cry. Alright, this puzzle is a very specific puzzle. You aim before you go into it. Now again, you might have to find your own way of, you know, just find the inputs. You probably won't be using the same control scheme that I'm using, or that Trey is using. I'd recommend using the same controls that me and Trey use, but this is how it's done. So when you learn the inputs, you'll be able to, I don't know what to say about that puzzle, you just have to learn the inputs for yourself. You take this line, you don't even have to look back. The lickers more often, sometimes they will lick you just before you come into this room, or just a little bit after you come into this room.
Welcome back, Dr. Lee. You have
But
5
not that
messages.
time. It's a fairly consistent and safe way of doing it. It's a very fast way of doing it. Mash right there. Make sure you mash.
They're open.
Mash, keep mashing.
Cooling complete.
Quick turn, quick turn. Okay, so we're gonna come out of this room. Again, there's a lot of RNG involved in this. Sometimes there's a zombie here. Sometimes the lickers can turbo. I find, let me have a look. I'll just explain something to you. All right, see the blood on the ground here, the kind of speckles of blood here. I kind of like to stop here, because if I find that if I go any further, I hear the lickers get triggered by me. They hear me and they go, rah, and then it can kind of a lot of times make them aggro and come right in up in your grill, and that can be bad, because if you flash them after that, they can do that blind swipe, and then they can hit you, and it's just fucking terrible what happens. So I like to stop like here, move forward, stop just before the flashbang goes off. So see, the lickers didn't really do anything there. So this part of the run now, this is RNG based as well. Alright, beautiful RNG. This RNG, I only get it on a fucking tutorial, but this RNG is such a time save. There's usually an ivy standing like here or there, and sometimes if there's an ivy there, you kind of have to run up these set of stairs and check if there's an ivy there. Like, this is just beautiful RNG. Like, this is God RNG, this is. Mash. And that's the last time you use that you actually don't pick that up again. So we're going to pick up a badge here, and we're going to combine the badge. We're going to combine like the key. It's like a little kind of neon light kind of upgrade for your badge. We'll see in a minute.
Did the trick.
Warning. You have dispersed a
And
dangerous
you have to make sure you're kind of quick here, because some of the ivies can
Your actions
activate.
have been logged.
combine that quick turn.
Eliminate the subject.
So make sure you quick turn here. This guy's not really a problem, but you have to quick turn there. If you don't quick turn there, he can probably get you. When Mr. X shows up, but he's completely harmless if you're fast. Now this ivy, I would argue this is the worst ivy in the entire game. I call him the Negan ivy. Negan from I call him Negan because, you know, Reneth told me, he sent me a meme before of Negan, another Negan in The Walking Dead, laughs and leans his head back so much. Sometimes more often than not, I'll shoot the ivy, and the ivy's like, the ivy will move its back like this, like almost completely like breaking its back, like saying like the opposite of leaning forward. It will move backwards and it will block you, and the run's over. I need to use 2 bullets here. If I am able to use only 1 bullet here and no bullets here, that's good. I need to save 2 bullets for the end of the game, and I'll show you later. Let's see. Alright, that's perfect. That's fine. I missed the first shot. He's a very hard one. It's very hard to shoot him accurately, I find. He's a difficult fucker. And it's RNG. He sometimes is not facing you, so you can't shoot him properly. You can actually, believe it or not, it's actually quite a safe strat to knife him if his back is turned to you. But again, it can be problematic with your durability of your knife, because my knife's durability is not great at the minute. Alright. So we're coming into the second last boss fight of the game. I would argue, you know,
Hopefully the G sample's up.
this really feels like the last hurdle of the game, you know. This really feels like a pretty challenging part of the game, this is, you know. I should really make a tutorial on how to deal with this G3 boss fight. You're using nothing but your knives. And then here's another puzzle here again. It's the last puzzle in the game. Again, that's not a hard one to do. It's only hard when you're nervous. That's the thing. When you're really nervous, your mind is like, oh, what's going on? Like, you're so fucking nervous at this part. This is pretty like peak nervousness I am here, like going into G3 or meeting the Negan Ivy. That's like, I'm so nervous, my hands are starting to shake here. Like if I'm on a good pace, you know. So I would recommend every single runner just lower their graphics for this fight, because this seems to be the most frame heavy fight, I would say. Now this cutscene is not that long. Beware of how short this cutscene is. Move backwards.
All right, now back to Ada.
Some runners make a mistake there, being like, "Oh, it's a cutscene. I'll chill because I'm nervous," you know. But no, they only have like it's only like a not even 5-second cutscene or something like that. So you want to go into your options, graphics, put them down to 50, because that will remain. You want the frames to stay high because you want the knife damage to remain as high as possible. Okay. So I'll just talk you through this fight for a second. Okay. Okay. All right. Connect with the eye, move back, pop the eye, move forward, move back, pop this one, swap to this knife, pop that back eye, get into position, check your knife, swap to that. Start hitting these eyes. Move this way. That's the fight. And my knife that I have equipped right now has 385 durability in it, which is more than good enough for Tyrant alone, the last boss fight. Now, let me just show you something here, right? So you probably were noticing you're probably like, what the hell are you doing there, right? It's just hard to explain when you're doing the fight, right? So, when I'm knifing something, right? So watch this little trick, right? Let me swap to this knife, right? So Leon is knifing away, right? So let's say if I'm knifing like this, it's a bit hard to explain. If I'm knifing like this, right, I'm constantly hitting 2. See on the Noah board there, I'm hitting 2 every now and then. And 2 shows you the durability of the knife, right? See? And you'll see it deplete downwards the more you use it. So you don't have to constantly like go into your menu to see it. You can just tap 2 over and over again. Or you could tap even 3 as well, but like you might have like a flashbang or something. You shouldn't have a flashbang at this point in the game. But you mash 2 primarily, right? And then when it just see the way it's almost broken. Like look, I'm about to break this knife. See, it broke. Like if it was one more, it would have broke. So watch, if I'm knifing like this, right? Which knife is this that I have? Okay, it's still a broken one. Let's say it gets right to the very end of the durability. And I'm like, right, I have to swap to this knife now. So I've swapped to it. I get back in. Oh no, I wasted time there. Leon stood up and stopped fucking knifing for a second. He's like, that's actually quite bad. It's time loss. And if you do that 4 times, you probably won't be able to one-cycle this guy. You probably will grab the wall. So, again, I might make a whole tutorial on this fight. But the way to actually stop that from happening is like this, right? Say I'm knifing like this. Alright. Oh my god, my knife is going to break. Swap to the knife. And then quickly equip/unequip this gun. So you're going to go and then hold it. And then he didn't do that thing where he stops. He just remains knifing. And you've made a knife swap before your eyes. It doesn't look like you've done anything different. You haven't wasted any time, you know. Now there is a method I think maybe Mondo or Igor or Trey or Orch, they could kind of describe this a bit better. Nevs is very good at this as well. So you're... I think it's when you actually... I think it's when you don't actually have the gun equipped. It's a highly advanced thing to do. I don't even do. I think it's a bit risky. But you're knifing like this, right? And then you go like this. And I see that right there. You might have to like show. Just look at what I did there. See the. You might want to put that in slow motion because I can't explain that. If the gun is unequipped, you can actually do it a slightly faster way where you go like this. You select a different knife, and instead of hitting that, now let's pretend it's, let me do it again. You select a different knife, let's pretend that this is unequipped now, and then you just go back into the game, and then you tap 2 really quickly, like at a certain specific time. You tap 2 to equip the gun while you're knifing them, and it saves you having to select the gun there like that. Well, it's a very, very risky thing to do, I find. Now, again, let me just explain the back eye for a second. The back eye, a lot of runners will find that the back eye is probably the hardest eye to pop in the game. And I shit you not, it takes a lot of fucking practice to get that angle perfect. You just get this sixth sense. I remember I was in Orch's chat trying to teach him how to, me and Mondo were in Orch's chat trying to teach him how to do it because he didn't do it. He used the old strat where he tried to 3 grenades, and Orch was getting a bit frustrated, you know. Even a runner as good as Orch was getting a bit frustrated, and I got frustrated when I was learning this as well because it's like, oh, there's no way this is consistent, but trust me, this is consistent. You will get good at it. There's just a very certain angle that you'll have to get used to. I'll show you now. So make sure you connect with that eye. Move this way. Move backwards. Oh, I fucked up. It's hard for me to do this when I'm talking. Halfway through the fight, I thought I had the wrong knife equipped. Alright, nice. I have the right knife equipped now. Let's do it again. I remember I was struggling to explain the angle to Orch so much that Orch was like, maybe you don't know it very well. But me and Mondo know this very well. Nixissues and TheFuretto, we all know this angle very well. And Orch knows it. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Now you move back. Quick turn this way. Pop. And then you want to swap to this knife because look, that knife is basically done now. And the fact that Leon is not swinging his knife here, you don't have to select the gun. You can just ignore the gun here because he's in a run animation. So you just do this. It's like that angle right there. See that angle right there? If you could just slow it down and look at that angle. It's a very specific angle. It's very hard to explain, but there's a very specific tiny angle where it's pretty consistent. Now, he might get up early here. No. You want to be careful when you're hitting him here because... Oh, see, I fucked up. It's hard to explain. You want to make sure that you don't actually do a lot of damage there at the back because you could do too much damage there. And he could get up very early, like too early, you know. I mean, look, my knife broke there and we still managed to kill him, you know. And our knife health is really good now, like 571. It's just GG. It's really good. Now I lost time there. You don't want to lose time by the knife breaking. It doesn't really do anything to the, you know. It doesn't really seem to do anything to the DA. Or the DA is like irrelevant at this point. It's 8 DA. It doesn't really matter. We have 2 bullets. Let's put up the graphics again. And now we're heading into the end game now. Aim to make him not walk. We have 2 bullets, which is perfect. I'll show you what you want those 2 bullets for. Try and shift boost. Missed it. It's hard to know shift boost timings in the end of the game because you don't really get here that often, you know. I got the shift boost in my PB in that part, but now you're just running to the elevator. There's a cutscene here where Ada dies. Spoilers. You know, if you're speedrunning this game, you want to know the fucking plot. So I like the mash here because when the hell does it come back, you know, at the gameplay? I don't get it always. So you want to move into this position here with Leon. Claire's a bit different. Claire kind of has, I think she has to stand somewhere else, but like you move into this position, the doors close as soon as possible. So right here, right, I don't know if you can see. But see the way on the right, like right here, there's a knife. If the knife is white here, right, instead of red, that's a good sign, okay? Now in my PB, my knife was red here, and I still got lucky. I was still able to stun Tyrant in like, I was able to stun him optimally. I'll explain the fight later, right? But we don't need to pick up anything else here. So you just hold the shift and W here, goes forward. Cutscene here, shift boost, ANS. Get out this door. 3 stairs gates should be adequate. Alright, what we're going to do here is, right, so this is a really annoying part for a lot of runners, but I swear to God this part seems pretty consistent to me now. I feel as if I've figured it out, like I've just figured it out. There's 2 IVs here. Now, there's a way of making these IVs completely free, and I'll show you right now. So, you quick turn, you stop here, right? The elevator's going down. The first IV is here, and the second IV is like behind this like big giant barrel here that you can see. We're gonna shoot about here, okay, with 1 bullet at the wall. Kind of, the IV is like just kind of behind the IV. We're gonna shoot a bullet around somewhere here. Make sure you don't shoot the IV, but shoot somewhere at the wall here. Some people shoot here. I don't really like that much. I find it consistent here. So there's gonna be a little. I'll show you now, right? So it's going down. The elevator is going down. And when it goes down so much to where you're able to shoot, like see the way there's a barrier here. There's like a little gap here in the barrier. If you're able to shoot that wall through this barrier, it's consistent, I find. And then you shoot the barrel there. Okay, it's hard to explain that. And you probably caught the liquor moving towards the wall there, so his back is turned to us. Very hard. I probably fucked up because it's hard to explain when I'm doing it. It's actually twice as hard when you're pausing the game and explaining it. It ruins the flow. But let's just see what happens now. So I've no bullets. See? Completely free. Move right. He's free as well. Makes him move that way. See? Now, there's a dodge here with Mr. X. Mr. X shows up here. Let me show you something here, right? Here's the safe way of dodging him, right? It's a slightly slower way of dodging him, but it's a very safe way. It's probably like 0.3 slower. You stop here and you aim, and you move forward. It's a very good strat. It works, right? But let me show you again. There's a far more dangerous strat. Right, hang on a minute. There is a far more dangerous strat to do that saves you 0.3 or something. I think Curtiiz told me 0.3 before. But I'll show you again. It requires some practice, and it's good if you're like slightly behind and you want to just squeeze a PB, do the slightly more dangerous dodge, you know. Oh, I think I missed there. Did I miss? Let's see. Now sometimes he moves and he tries to get you, but just a quick turn there, it's pretty safe every time. If you do it the way I said it. Alright. Let me show you this way. I might fuck it up. It's a very dangerous way of doing it. Mondo does it a lot. Curtiiz does it a lot. I think Igor does it a lot too. Get closer to him. Alright, I fucked up. I almost got through there. See the way it's kind of bullshit sometimes. It looked like I was behind him there. I think I should have moved a fraction sooner. Let me show you again. I don't even think I've actually messed that up though on a real run. I don't think I've ever messed that up on a real run. Because I just think that your adrenaline is going so hard that you know you kind of do well in the moments, you know. I oddly find some things harder to do in practice than in a real run because I find that adrenaline kind of helps you in a weird way. You know, sometimes it fucking can't. Sometimes it makes you way too nervous, but you have to control the fire sometimes of your own mental state. Let me try it again. If it doesn't work this time, I'll just do the safe strat. There we go. So that's like 0.3 faster, or even 0.4 faster. It's more dangerous, but it saves you slightly more time. Alright. So, let's just have a look at the inventory for a second, right? The inventory is perfect right now. Now, you know, usually you would actually have a knife to the left of the badge there. But we're gonna pick up a joint plug. It's a double item, so it takes up two slots. And this is the whole reason why everything I do in the inventory, like me and Mondo do it this way. To be honest, I learned from Mondo. Mondo is just a genius. Like, he's fantastic at this fucking game. But this works out every single time with this inventory. And I'll show you why you do it like this, okay? All you gotta do is mash. And you don't have to force the item in anywhere else. Let me see my save there. Now, if you have to force an item into the inventory, it is slower. So let me just see here. Escape the lab. I don't know what save this is. Is this at the Tyrant? Oh, okay, so it's not going to show me, right? But if you... Let me show you, right? So let's say this herb, right? Let's say I'm going to put this herb in the... Let's say the gun where the gun is, right? Let's see, right? See the way it kind of paused for a second there, froze, you know, and the timer is still going. It kind of froze up for a second. Let me do it again. So I forced it into the inventory. It's slightly slower doing that. But see the way we have an item we have a slot that's available there, just in front, just above the crank and below the joint plug. If I'm just mashing here, it's slightly faster. It is slightly faster. So that's why you want the inventory to be like this. Because it'll go, you don't have to force it in. There's space there for you to not move anything else in the inventory. It's not like put something somewhere else. Alright, so here's the fight. Here's the last boss fight of the game. Okay, so you might not want to, you don't really have to lower the graphics here. I don't have to anyway with my 5800X CPU, but the objective here is to stun. It's not damage. This is the only boss fight in the game that's not really damage based at all. It's not really, you know, in terms of like what his damage is, you know. The object here is to hit him with the knife and stun him 3 times with the knife as soon as you can, right? Now there's a very specific way of doing it. So you run up to him. 1, 2, he's stunned. See the way he's like, he looks like he got hurt by it, you know? And it can be RNG how he actually reacts to how he gets stunned. He has numerous different animations for getting stunned, right? That's actually a good RNG. That is, it's very easy to deal with. So you want to be standing on his left side, like his left shoulder. You want to be standing on his left shoulder. So watch what I do here. I wait for him to recover again. And I move this way. I sort of hold W and D while looking up at him, kind of moving inward on like into his shoulder, and I start knifing. And this is what happens. Okay, do it again. It's very hard to do when I'm pausing. I'll do it again. I'll do it again. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. Like, it's just hard to do it when you're pausing, you know. It kind of fucks up the flow. I didn't even know what animation I got there. Alright. 1, 2. That's bad RNG. Move this way. Okay, see the way he missed me there? Kind of fucking this up. I just want to show you a really optimal way of doing it, the way I did it in my PB. Let me just do it this time. So the goal is just to stun him 3 times. That's the goal there.
Until detonation.
1, 2. There we go. 3 times, okay? Fuck! Why am I fucking this up? This is like, other than G1, this is the easiest boss fight, to be honest. I think I'm just getting cocky. I'll do it because I want to move on to a different stage of the fight where I gotta explain something else. Okay, let's do it now.
Until detonation.
Trust me, this is not that hard. Alright, he's stunned now, okay? So, to dodge him like this, you want to be moving into his left shoulder, okay? So keep moving forward into his left shoulder at a perfect time. Now, the problem is, there's going to be 2 rocks that are going to drop. Now, it should have dropped already. See the two rocks? You want to make sure he's away from those 2 rocks. And respect the distance between you and him. When he does this, make sure you run forward a bit. There's 2 attacks. The quick attack, that's like a hook. And then the triple attack. Make sure you're a bit further away from him. Because he can clip you, he can clip your ass. Move forward. Move into his shoulder. Like, look at my keys. All I'm doing is like moving forward. Moving forward into him. Into his shoulder. It's that easy, like, move forward. Constantly just moving forward. That's all you're doing. Alright, so this is an annoying part of the run here. This is like the final challenge of the run, really. There's a very fast way of picking up this rocket launcher. You don't shift boost here. Even 7AD says that you do not shift boost here because it makes you, it will, you know, it kind of aggroes him earlier and you get hit early. You hold shift, you hold W and D, and as soon as you get into the game, as soon as the game starts to kind of fade, like out of the cutscene and into the game, as soon as you fade into the game, you let go of D and you mash like fuck. Alright, oh no, why did I do that? I fucked up. I gotta go through the whole fight again. I'll edit this, don't worry, I'll edit this, don't worry. Okay, here we go.
Where did this?
Move back. Move. So that's the idea, right? You gotta hold W and D and shift, and as soon as the game resumes the gameplay, you let go of D and you just mash like fuck to pick up that rocket launcher. As soon as you pick up the rocket launcher, you hold shift and S to move backwards. When you dodge it, you just bang, you shoot him and it's done. And that's it. That's the last part is easy. You can either aim at the floor. It's safer aiming up at the wall. Sometimes you can hit that thing and stun Leon and you lose time. Just shoot up at the wall when the door opens. GG. And that's the game. That's Leon A standard.
Shit!
I think I covered most of it.
Gotta get out of here.
I hope I helped some people, you know. Let's see what the time is. The time is going to be, yeah, it's 1 hour 7 minutes 30. It looks like, you know, my PB is 51 minutes 42 seconds. So, you know, this is the run that I've ran. Like, I've devoted a lot of my life to this run, you know. I think it's a beautiful game. I think it's a beautiful speedrun. As annoying as it can be, I really do believe it's a fantastic speedrun. It's a great speed game, I think, you know. There's many other great runners that you can pick their brains. Nixissues is currently the world record holder at the minute. He did an amazing run. There's basically only like 4 seconds time save in his run. Maybe slightly more than that, but it's amazing, this game. This speed game is so brilliant. I love this game so much. It's my favorite speed game by far. I'm obsessed with it. Like, there's so many great runners running this at the moment. Like, it's such a competitive run. Like, Nixissues, Mondomantra, TheFuretto, Orchlon, myself, 7AD, Igor, FMC, Dteq, Joydurn, Curtiiz. There's a lot of great runners at the minute. Now, Curtiiz doesn't run this, he runs Claire. Honestly, those runners there, and you know, runners that are kind of relatively new to the game as well, you know. Just, I would say, if you ever want to get into this game, just start speedrunning it, start learning, you know. I've devoted a lot of my time to this game, and blood, sweat and tears, literal tears, this game has made me cry sometimes, you know, particularly with knife only grind, you know. Like, I held the knife only record for a while, and that was my one goal, like, when I was in the partner push. My one goal, I didn't care about anyone watching, like, I just wanted to, all I wanted was that world record. I wanted to taste the gold, and I held the world record, you know. At the moment, I think I only hold 2 world records. in this game. I want to go on another sweep to get a few 60 FPS records, but this is the category that I fell in love with mostly. This is the category that I started off with. I just think this game is a beautiful speedrun. I know a lot of people kept saying that when the game came out, oh, it's built for speedrunners, only built for speedrunners. They might be right, but if it's built for speedrunners, they're probably fucking right, because the speedrun is fantastic. I just think this is an amazing game for the speedrun. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you want to ever like query me, hit me up on Twitch. Lucy Lover is my name. I'll put a few links in the description as well for like maybe tutorials on how to do G2. Nixissues, his Yolo prison. I don't know, I might have to edit something about Tyrant, and then that's it. But yeah, any questions, just let me know. I think I covered everything, or most of everything, I don't know. Might be a few things that I didn't cover because of the way the actual kind of run itself kind of went. I wanted to take a bite earlier on. I kind of showed you how to do it in the prison to take a bite. There's multiple areas in the run where you can take a bite. You can take a bite at the shutter, the library, you can take a bite in the prison, you can take a bite in the sewers. And again, just to remind you, in order to take, the reason why you're taking a bite is to make sure that the DA is low. But we took a dog bite in that run and we still managed to keep the DA below 7 before we got into the labs, which is highly important. So I hope I helped someone. I think this game is just, I sound like a broken record. I'm just in love with this game. It's my favourite speedrun, and I don't think I'm ever going to fall in love with another game again the way I fell in love with this game. So but yeah, hit me up on Twitch if you ever have a query or a question, or hit up any of those other runners that I mentioned there earlier. But yeah, thanks so much everyone, and let's see what the time is. I mean, 1 hour 7 minutes. So that was while just slowly explaining everything, so you can get good at this game if you sink your time into it. The mechanics are very satisfying. A lot of people find the mechanics very annoying at the start, because you do have to learn them. You have to learn how to move properly. Movement is a big part of this game. So yeah, my biggest advice, the main advice I would give to people learning this game: learn the mechanics, learn how to shift boost, and obviously learn the route, and learn the boss fights, and learn the inventory. Be very meticulous about the inventory, because if you fuck up your inventory, you're fucking up your brain to get a chance of learning and developing some sort of muscle memory. The more you repeat something, the more you won't even have to worry about it, like little tiny things that your mind will get used to. So I think that's it. I think I covered everything. So look, thanks so much for watching everyone. But yeah, that's going to be me done. I hope I helped someone. And yeah, catch me on Twitch. I'll be running this game even more. I still love this game as much today than I ever did. So thanks a lot everyone. Really appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon.